Let me tell you something. I only got one law. A kid who tells on another kid is a dead kid.
A couple months ago, ADAM MCKAY came on to discuss Knights of Kyberia. Tonight, we're discussing another movie he picked out, Jonathan Kaplan's 1979 coming-of-age film, Over the Edge, shot in a documentary style as a portrait of teenage rebellion in the 1970s.
Uh-oh. What? That stuff I took. It was supposed to be speed, but I think it was acid. I'll flash. Really?
Based on a San Francisco Examiner article, Mouse Packs, Kids on a Crime Spree, which talked about Foster City, California, a middle-class planned community who's going through an unusually high rate of teenage crime. The screenwriters Charles S. Haas and Tim Hunter went to Foster City and actually started interviewing the kids from the article. The pairing was interesting because Tim Hunter had actually been Charles Haas's film history professor at UC Santa Cruz a year before, and they decided they wanted to write a screenplay together. Their screenplay has a much bigger and more violent ending, but Tim Hunter would go on to say the film pretty accurately reflects the stories they found in Foster City. Starring Matt Dillon in his first film role after being discovered by Jonathan Kaplan in the Westchester County Middle School. Also starring Michael Kramer, Pamela Ludwig, Vincent Spano, who would go on to star with Matt Dillon again in a teen drama Rumblefish in 1983, Harry Northup, and Tom Fergus.
My father's a lawyer. I know my rights.
I don't care who your father is. 15 minutes.
1979 saw a whole bunch of youth crime films in a row. The Warriors, The Wanderers, and Boulevard Nights all came out that year. Did not have great receptions, especially after The Warriors was said to have inspired 3 killings, allegedly by people who saw the movie that day. Over the Edge was only given a limited release, test running it in 8 cities, then expanding it out to some weirdly random cities. The biggest release initially was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and expanded out to a handful of theaters in New York and Los Angeles, as well as Tulsa, Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Fort Worth, and El Paso, but also Paducah and Owensboro, Kentucky, Conway, Arkansas, and Victoria, Texas. I don't really know how they picked the cities out for this one. Over the Edge takes place in the real, but standing in for Foster City, New Grenada, Colorado, a planned city which was designed and built without thinking about the fact that 25% of the population was under 18. Like the actual Foster City, it was built with adults in mind and had all these little neat things for adults to do without giving any thought to what kids might do there. The actual Foster City even had ways you could kayak from some houses to the grocery store. So the kids who were bored and out of their minds would drink, do drugs, break shit, vandalize the town, and set stuff on fire. Haas and Tim Hunter took the screenplay to George Litto, and they found a 30-year-old Jonathan Kaplan to direct it. Kaplan had studied under Martin Scorsese and worked on the infamous Sex Pistols movie Who Killed Bambi, which got shelved, was written by Malcolm McLaren and Roger Ebert, which was supposed to be a punk rock Hard Day's Night, but it's been said that Roger Ebert somehow just wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls again. Shopping around for a studio, George Litto eventually just said F it and self-financed most of the film. They got the cinematographer Andrew Davis to film Over the Edge, and he decided to shoot it in the style of Frederick Wiseman, real gritty documentarian style. The budget was so small that Haas and Hunter went around to schools asking drama teachers to recommend students for casting. They were told to find the new James Dean.
When I was in New York, I asked Matt Dillon if it was true he was discovered walking down the hall of his high school.
They came around to various high schools looking for non-actors, asked me to...
Looking for non-actors?
Yeah, not non-actors, but instead of like just hiring actors, you know, they wanted to see real people. So they went around to the various high schools and asked me if I wanted to audition for the film. So I said sure. But I think maybe people have heard the story.
Yeah, what particular film was that?
That was
See, I hadn't heard the story.
Over the Edge.
And after a couple weeks with Jane Bernstein at Talent Scout in Westchester, they found Matt Dillon walking around the school cutting class. Apparently, the 13-year-old Matt Dillon tried to convince them he was a tough kid from the wrong side of the tracks. But his dad was a stockbroker and he lived in the suburbs. They shot Over the Edge in an area of Colorado where a suburb was literally going up around them. The film was shot in 20 days and ended up costing $3 million by the end. A lot of the music was picked out by Pamela Ludwig, who was 18 and who played Corey. She was the one who picked out Surrender by Cheap Trick because she had seen them in concert recently. It was the first time Cheap Trick had ever been asked to be on a soundtrack. Van Halen also offered up a new track, Light Up the Sky, but reneged when they saw the actual movie. Though You Really Got Me is in the movie, The Cars, The Ramones, and Little Feat are also on the soundtrack. The young Kurt Cobain saw Over the Edge and it became his favorite movie, and later influenced the music video for Smells Like Teen Spirit.
You stinking pig!
Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Our show gets simulcast, or if we're not on it at regular time, played later on This Space. This Space is a working class independent media collective, youtube.com/ThisSpaceTV. Subscribing really helps out, or even more, sharing content from This Space and encouraging others to do the same. By working together, we can break through the algorithm. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Christina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Christina. Forrest and Kristina have a second show, The Absurdity Space, live on This Space on Wednesdays at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. ADAM MCKAY is a director, writer, and former head writer for SNL, who has directed and co-written such films as Anchorman, Talladega Nights, The Other Guys, The Big Short, Vice, and Don't Look Up. His latest film is You Need This, a documentary critiquing hyperconsumerism. I, of course, am your host and the Rec Center counselor, Forrest Miller. You got loads of laws, right? Well, let me tell you something. I only have one law. The kid who tells on another kid is a dead kid.
That's right. Matt Dillon gets that too. He's not even like technically the main character, and he gets the best line in the entire film.
Yeah.
He says it like,
Adam.
Welcome back.
What's going on? He says it like 4 times too. He's like says it to the cops, and then he says it to the kid that he's literally pretending he's doing like a mock execution. He says it to the kid. It's like the only. Yeah. I almost said the only good kid is the dead kid, but no, that's not.
You're gonna be more controversial than Adam.
The only good kid is a dead kid. So it's,
I'm not gonna read any of my replies going forward.
A kid who tells on another kid is a dead kid.
Yeah. So this is cool, Adam. This is your pick, and I was psyched to see it because this is a very unique film in a lot of ways. Like, it does the 70s youth and revolt thing. It's technically a coming-of-age film. It's also maybe one of the best movies about anarchism, but it's like about a lot of things, right? But not the least of which is that a lot of people haven't seen it. And I think one of the reasons why it hasn't been sort of rediscovered by younger generations, I'm going to call it the WKRP problem, that getting a lot of the music clearances is just rough.
Yeah.
And just like with WKRP, like you can't, I mean, they tried to do WKRP without the music and it sucked. It wasn't very good. It's so intrinsic to the mood and the act of world building within the movie that I think it doesn't really work without it. So therefore, it's hard to see gaining a newer audience without clearing those hurdles, so to speak. Also, I don't know if anyone's like really putting that much work into it, frankly.
But it's like it's crazy though that like it's not the case when the movie came out. It's like because it's the first movie that like Cheap Trick ever even got like invited to do a soundtrack on, and it's like how iconic are they as like a late 70s or like 80s band, you know? What I mean?
And it kills. All of the music placements for Cheap Trick, especially, kill in this. And Adam, I know the first time you were on, we talked about Talladega Nights and the placement of Foreigner Blows and so on, and music within film. Yes, WKRP does have one of the best music outros. I've covered it. It's on like the B-sides compilation, and that was a fun one to cover because it's like 30 seconds long. But as far as the music, being intrinsic to the film, would you agree with that, Adam? I mean, it's your pick, so let's toggle the talking stick with you.
I don't know if that's the reason that it's kind of been muted. The tracks in the movie knowing the guys from Cheap Trick, Van Halen, that's a cover. And
it's a Kings cover. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Kings are pretty cool with music rights. I mean, I've been through this, down this road a million times. I think you kind of have to go back to the release of the film, which is that the studio saw it and was like, what the hell? I mean, I always joke it is the greatest film ever made about city planning. And I lived during, I was a kid during this time. In fact, my cousins lived in Mamaroneck and Larchmont, where they found Matt Dillon, and that was what it was like to be a kid in the 70s. And I just think when you talk, like, try and find the movie Norma Ray, like try and find Silent Running, try, like, these movies are not from the mainstream. They don't really fit into a genre. And I think that's kind of what stomped on this movie. I mean, you guys know the story. The studios saw this movie and was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
They were not stoked. Yeah. To put it bluntly, yeah.
Weird poster where it was like the kids are zombies.
Yeah, their eyes are flipped up. And it's like, even Matt Dillon saw the poster and was like, what the fuck is this? We're not, it's not a zombie movie. Like.
Next to the Harold and Maude poster, which is all timer, where they were like, we hate this movie. And they just put the name. I mean,
intentionally mismarketed. They obfuscated, like, we'll call it one of the central plot points of the film. It's like, oh yeah, what a great way to sell it, you know?
Have you guys seen the poster for Harold and Maude?
It's ridiculous. It's
literally
the one with the orange. Yeah, the orange typeface.
Yeah,
and it's just Harold and Maude, white background.
Yeah. I remember renting Harold and Maude when I think I was too young to watch it at the time. I was like, I don't know, I was like 9 or 10. It's not like it was like whatever, but I was just like, I don't know what this movie is gonna be about. My mom's like, oh, that's a movie about like a young guy that sleeps with an old woman. And I was like, what? Oh, I just rented that.
And there's a great story about how when they looked at the receipts, there was like one city. I forget what the city it was, but like it was doing really well in one city. And it turns out that the guy running the theater just like, well, screw this to their marketing campaign. Started doing his own marketing campaign, basically showing what it was, and people came out to see it. But it was like the only city it was successful in because like nationally they were trying to bury it basically.
I'm fascinated this movie in particular, the way that they kind of did like the like picking the cities. I don't know how they did this, but they put it in an 8-city test market, and then they expanded. When you look at the list of cities, like you can find it on Wikipedia. When you look at the list of cities, it's like a really weird list of cities, and a lot of them are not in the on the West Coast. Most of them are like either in the South or in like the Midwest.
I wonder if it's like testing new fast food items or something, where they just like certain places
like
because
McDonald's has pizza now.
Yeah,
they got scared. Okay. I mean, it's one of the like we kind of talked about a similar thing when it was like,
but only in West Virginia in one town, you know. Okay.
Well, we talked about kind of a similar thing when it was like The Exorcist, you know, and like they have all the stories like about how people were like throwing up in the theater and like you know all over the place. Someone had a heart attack. Like, those kinds of stories. They had kind of a similar thing with the Warriors, which is that a lot of street gang, well, at least the director of the Warriors thinks the reason this happened is a lot of street gang members were like, oh, this is a movie about us. The same way like mobsters love mob movies.
Sure.
Like, that's me on screen pretty much. So a lot of young kids
you're just a gopher
in these cities at the time in 1979 went to see the Warriors, and then a lot of times they would have fights, and like so there was like a few stabbings that happened, you know, after like screenings of it. So they blamed the Warriors and said like, oh, if these like youth in revolt see the Warriors or like a movie like the Warriors, they'll just kill each other. And that was right before, like weeks before this movie came out. they're like, oh, this movie caused like three deaths or 3 murders or something.
It's called gang violence. It's like The Dark Knight.
Paramount trying to pitch like, oh, this is going to be a movie a lot like the similar genre kind of, because there's a bunch of movies in this kind of street gang thing, and some of them obviously are more like The Warriors, but some of them are like more realistic and gritty like this one. And so they're like, yeah, these movies cause teenagers to go crazy and murder each other. And
I mean, look, you can't look at financial policy, metropolitan allocation of funds for, youth groups, parks. It's always the fault of video games, movies, and not following Christ enough. And no shade towards Christ.
Yeah, well, it's like right. Just give them the bowling alley in the movie theater, for Christ's sake. Speaking of our good buddy Christ coming up next week, and I think that if again, you mentioned being one of the best movies about city planning. Look what happens when you don't. You want to put in the equivalent of luxury condos for the 70s, and like that goes about as well as you would think it would go. But like these kids have nothing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the most famous example of like, or one of the most famous examples, because obviously by the time they settled California in the West, it's like things were a lot different than like New York City. They weren't able to plan because it was like the 1600s, 1700s. They just kept expanding the city out and out and out. Yeah. But like Warriors is like a classic New York City movie, and it's like the kids go crazy there too.
Yeah, but it's also
I'm just saying like at this time, right? Like it's like. It's very of that moment.
Go ahead, Adam.
Curious, are you guys aware of like the early 70s to late 70s runaway situation where there were like thousands of kids? And there are movies that reflect that. You see it in Taxi Driver. There's a movie called, 20th Century Foxes, with that's about runaways, and there was this rash of kids who were connecting to alternative culture, music, and thought, and realizing they were in an abusive situation. So they would all go to LA or New York. And when I was a kid growing up, this was well known that there were runaways at the bus station, the train station. But it's funny, I never hear anything about it. Even the movie Billy Jack, which I assume all of us are always thinking about.
Billy Jack, with you always, just like those Jesus memes.
Billy Jack,
our friend Jesus.
Billy Jack is not my lover. He's just a girl.
No, don't ever screw with Billy Jack.
Okay, all right.
You're right though, Adam, because I was watching the I Love series from VH1 growing up, and just looking about like how the 70s were, and it was like a total like shift after the Summer of Love, after Charles Manson and all that. So it's like it was a really gritty time, and people, a lot of boomers are like, oh, the 70s was such a good time, and I'm like, terrorism and crimes was rising. What are you talking about?
But there's also like the sort of movies of the week territory, like Born Innocent with Linda Blair and stuff like that, and kind of like oh, look at these troubled teens, et cetera, kind of going back to the point I think you were at least adjacent to, Adam, that this kind of thing, like, that's where we got the when they Criterion puts together their thing, it'll be Youth in Revolt or whatever, right? And then like you'll collate these things together. And I think what's lost about the discussion to Over the Edge is how good of a movie this is just about how teenagers actually interact with each other.
Yeah.
Like but it's not too clever. Though, it's not too well written. You know what I mean? It's not too well written. It's well written.
It's pretty well written.
It's not too overwritten, is what I mean.
Agree.
and
who's one of that? Who, by the way, goes on to direct River's Edge.
River's Edge, yeah.
Which is one of the other great sort of, what is happening to our youth in this meat grinder of an amoral capitalistic society that we live in. And I would recommend to people, if you want to like track the youth of America, start with Rebel Without a Cause, go to Over the Edge, then go to River's Edge, then go to Kids.
Oh, wow. That's quite the film festival right there. Well, and River's Edge, another one where there's a, more or less surprise killing that's central to the plot, and how they react to it is endemic to how the story unfolds too. So it's interesting to think about. Yeah. So what would be the
connecting?
I don't know.
Connecting
like the final boss of like
Rebel Without a Cause is interesting because when they sent out Charles Hess and the two writers, Charles Hess and I forget the other Tim's Hunter. Yeah. When they sent them out to go, they said, "Hey, we need a James Dean. Like we're looking for the new James Dean." And so they actually made that explicit connection. And then they met Matt Dillon, and they were like, "Oh, this kid who was telling them all about how he's from the wrong side of the streets." And they were like, "Oh, wow." But then they actually met his family. They actually met his family, and his dad's a stockbroker. They're like, "Oh, this kid was bullshitting us really well."
Yeah. But like also too, Matt Dillon was known for playing like rebellious teenager type special. Like because the first time I saw Matt Dillon was we're in 8th grade. We're reading the Outsiders novel. It's kind of a requirement in America still, I hope. And my teacher was like, "Oh, girls, we're gonna watch the movie. You're gonna love. It's got Patrick Swayze, Bravo, and Matt Dillon." I'm like, "Ooh," and Diane Lane. I'm like, "Oh," but like Matt Dillon was kind of like, a teen heartthrob at the time. And for the first few years, he was playing those rebellious types. And it wasn't until he did like Drugstore Cowboy where people were like, "Oh, he could do like serious, mature roles."
4 years after this, right? Both Matt Dillon and Vincent Spano, who's also in Over the Edge, they both were in Rumblefish.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, it's been years since I saw that. Boy.
Yeah, people forget that that's another Coppola, because he was doing a few movies with Francis Ford Coppola at the time.
But then it's important to note that like this is where like it begins basically for that guy, and he's not even the primary character. He's just like the one that everyone remembers. Because I rewatched this a couple of years ago, so I had a recent enough memory of it, and of course I rewatched it for the show. But like when I rewatched it time before last, for some reason I had in my mind that he was the main character. It's like, oh no, it's the other kid. That's right. Yeah. And it's not like he's not doing anything important, but he's just such a memorable character. Like he's in these memorable scenes, and like him being the catalyst for certain elements of the story, it leads you to kind of change the importance in your mind, because it isn't something that you just see all the time, right? I mean, I think I once caught it on, not even just on cable, but like on one of the elite movie channels, like and I was like, is this Over the Edge? Like, holy crap, because there's not many movies that take place where there's a scene in like an abandoned house and they're dicking around with guns, which is like, good luck making that today, by the way. But I mean, that was very real. Like, and I was like, hey, I got a gun, great, let's go shoot it.
Yeah, well, there's such a tension in it too, because the gun accidentally goes off and then the kid just die, and then he just pops back up and his friend's like, ah!
Well, there's certain things that are definitely artifacts of the time. The liberal use of the R word, for instance, and
some things haven't changed if you think about it.
Yeah,
and the old not the F word, is
the other F word.
The other F word. Yeah,
there's a lot of that. It's like, oh yeah, ooh, rough, but also true to life,
But I mean, kids be saying that a lot.
Kids do be saying that.
Yeah. Speaking of Euphoria, just kidding.
No, but it occurs to me too that this is one of the great coming of age movies. Although it's not even its primary or even secondary focus, it manages to have moments of harsh reality causing characters to have to mature quickly, and like look at like how those decisions that at the time maybe don't seem like decisions are decisions, and you get to see how different. The versus a stable home versus broken home, so on and so on. Even in New Grenada, where there is literally nothing to do other than the rec center, then they're fighting to keep that open. how that changes and shapes people for their adulthood, and it's fascinating that way. Almost as much as like the Up series or something, where like you get to see the class dynamics of like, well, I don't think it's gonna go well for that poor kid, and then 5 movies later, oh, it didn't go very well for him, did it? Shocking. But then sometimes it can be surprising because you see people who make changes in their life and so on and so on, but like within class barriers usually. So Adam, hit it.
And I can speak to being older. I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, and this was the feeling. The feeling was I was on the wrong side of the tracks. And although back then our government kind of worked, so
we had a government, first of all.
So we had, like, my mom had a Pell Grant and went back to college. Our public school was pretty good. We had a stretch where we were on food stamps, but you could tell the world was not made for you. So my friends and I, our reaction was to throw tomatoes at cars, endless crank phone calls, which
oh my God, yes.
I in a large part think that's how I comedy, and knock on people's doors, run, do just disruptive, shit. And all of my friends came from divorced households.
Yeah.
And we all lived in an area that had no park, no basketball hoop, no baseball diamond. And if we wanted to play those sports, we had to go over the tracks to the other side of town. So, and this was late 70s, which honestly is probably the best moment in American history to be poor. And this movie nails it. And we can talk about it once we get into it. But, the director, father, scores the movie. And I love the score for this movie because it zooms out, and we all like to think that everything that's gone wrong, with Trump and Biden and Trump is all of this time. But the truth is, it's been coming for 40, 50 years.
Yep. It's been a plan.
And this movie, when they do those wide shots with the director's father doing the score with it's not a piccolo, but it's a great sound.
Yeah.
Clarinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the second to last movie that Saul Kaplan, who's Jonathan Kaplan's father, ever scored. But he scored before this. He had scored movies, like he scored a lot of movies in the 50s, and apparently worked for the OSS but he was their film score guy. I didn't know they needed one of those. He was the Office of Strategic Services.
In the OSS?
Yeah, apparently
he was the clarinet guy. Oh yeah, get the clarinet guy on this.
So
yeah,
they literally have on his like Wikipedia or whatever. It's and then he got caught up with the House Un-American Activities Committee, and I think that kind of slowed his career.
Spielberg was a sniper for JSOC, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
JSOC.
He's there. He was there. He composed music for the film units of the Signal Corps and the Office of Strategic Services when they made their like propaganda films or whatever.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm the film score guy for the old OSS.
Yeah. I've heard my best work, Triumph of the Will. Oh, okay.
They're like, no, he brings down the Nazis because they can't. They're like, what is this? What is this crazy sound?
Like a job's a job,
This is not polka. I don't like
polka. There's a Weird Al up in here. He was starting his career then, right?
Yeah, so that's so that's what, Sol Kaplan, is that who that is? Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know about any of that, but it is interesting that it is a notable soundtrack because I think for the score, because the score for something like this, like I think a lot of cases it would be a little more, for lack of a better term, overbearing, and like it's really pretty subtle for a lot of, and I think that what is on there is, I couldn't imagine with anything else, which is to me the sign of a good score, right? Like where it's like that's good score work, because a lot of people, especially people that are new at it, I've been this way too. Be like, oh, I want to do all the things. It's like, oh no, I need to do far fewer of the things for this to be effective, because you're working in concert with the visuals, and if you're not doing it right.
There's a great shot in the movie, and I always remember it. The kids are in an abandoned, sort of half-built house where the financing fell through. By the way, how prescient is that? Basically America. And they leave after the almost shooting, and they're dancing around, and there's a shot of them walking away. And it's a beautiful shot, big wide, of this field. And Saul, is the dad's name Saul Kaplan?
Yeah, Saul Kaplan.
And this Saul Kaplan score comes in. And it's really the moment for me, even when I was like a 12-year-old kid, where you're like, oh, something bigger is at work here. And you could even say the same thing, and it's around the same time with Apocalypse Now, where those sort of shots of the jungle, the kind of wide shots with those sort of, I don't know what instrument they're using. It's kind of like a Asian xylophone. And it's funny, you don't see those sort of like bird's eye view philosophical moments in filmmaking pretty much ever these days, but they were super typical of the 70s.
Yeah, and I feel like even in movies that are like, when people think of in movies are more contemplative, like a Terrence Malick or something along those lines, which, great, but it is so effective to give you an idea of the lived space. I just finally, for the first time, watched Ratcatcher by Lynn Ramsey, right? And it does such a great job of showing just how atrocious like the living conditions is, where there's trash everywhere because it's the middle of this garbage strike. There's poverty, there's sewage in the canal, there's no hope anywhere. And then you get this scene that like where he's in like this home, this council flat home that is being built, and it's framed like a movie screen with the window, and you see this again, like Days of Heaven looking field outside that looks like a cartoon by comparison to like how ratty and tired everything else has looked, and it's so effective as a contrast. And it's one of those things like, have we lost that as an art? Do people forget how to do this? Do they not watch a movie before 5 years ago? What's happening here?
Yeah, we stopped, once everyone stopped drinking out of the hose, they lost the ability to.
It was hose water.
I think the last thing that capitalism, as we experience it now, which is surveillance capitalism, pressure capitalism. If you want to keep this job, subscribe to these beliefs, all of it. The last thing, the gruesome profit machine we're in right now wants to happen is a moment where you pull back and look at the big picture.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's planned, right? Sure. I mean, that makes sense. It's planned just like how planned communities are planned.
I don't know if it's planned. I mean, I think like the incentives that radiate off a big capital, we just took out a Jeffrey Epstein mini series.
That's right.
And we had Julie K. Brown, the reporter who kept that story who broke that story, kept it alive, refused to kind of sit down and go, all right, it's over. And
even though being almost assaulted by Michael Tracy recently.
Yeah, Michael, Jesus, that dude.
Yeah. What happened?
And we had Laura Dern was going to play Julie K. Brown. We had a great script from a writer named Sharon Hoffman, and it was essentially the All the President's Men kind of version of the story, where she wouldn't give up and she had to start at like the base, and it's amazing. And every single streamer, network, studio all said no.
Yeah.
And I know about 3/4 of them legitimately thought they were saying no because it wasn't good enough. And it's like these people that have internalized the sort of, gears and energy of big capital. And that's kind of the dream, is where like you're not even conscious of it.
Right. I mean, you're self-censoring because you've been basically conditioned to think that way. Right?
The incentives, the pushback, no offense against you, Conan Neutron, but it's like how you mention Pepsi every 5.
Right, exactly. I was hoping it would be a little more subtle than that, but I don't appreciate being narked on like that. But hey, I do what I can. By the way, Pepsi, the choice of new generation, right? Is that what it was? I'm trying to remember.
We are the world. We're not selling a product.
Wait, was Pepsi the one? Was Pepsi the one that stopped like the insurrection with the one?
Yeah.
Oh, what, the
It's
Black
Jenner,
Lives
the
Matter
Pepsi.
thing?
That's
Or
right.
the
Okay.
Kendall Jenner?
Head
Oh,
to top of
Jesus
Pepsi.
Christ.
And they're like, wow, we don't hate black people anymore.
It's like,
was there ever a more Devo moment in modern history when that was like, wow, this is a real commercial, huh? Wow.
It's funny when it's funny when a commercial like that somehow becomes iconic, because like just viscerally the culture rejects whatever it is. Like so it's like they have to like be like, I don't know, this was just an interesting idea for a commercial. I was like, we hate you, we hate what you're selling, and we hate the celebrity that's now we now hate the celebrity that did it.
Like the Gal Gadot "We Are the World" thing, right? Or, imagine whatever it was. I blocked it from my memory. Sorry.
In a few weeks with Haunted, it will imagine there's no have that cut.
No, he's gonna say, imagine there's no Gaza. That's the Gal
Gadot. That level of censorship where it's how they got, liberals were the ones booing loudest for Michael Moore, like that kind of thing, where it's like they were conditioned like Pavlov.
Leftists are always right
In
too soon.
defense of Michael Moore, Roger and Me is a blueprint for what has happened to this country. And the Republican Party became an extreme right-wing party, and he tracked it. I'm interested that he kind of stopped making films.
Yeah.
And I used to write, in full disclosure, I wrote for Michael Moore's second show after TV.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What was that one called? I saw it. It was good. I can't remember
right now. But anyway,
we'll get our top researchers on it.
So I know Michael really well.
Yeah.
And he is pro-union, pro-universal healthcare. And I tried to get him to do other movies, but I wonder if the kind of congealed grotesqueness of the white American liberal and how they took what he said and what he was pushing and twisted it kind of keeps him away from making movies, because but anyway, Moore is cool and you should have him. In fact, I'm gonna ask him if he will come on
please.
I would love that.
I'm not saying he's a perfect person. I'm not saying every, but he's cool. He gets it.
That would be great. I saw him give a lecture in college. He came to our school and gave a lecture. I believe it was like 3 weeks before the 2016 election. And he came and he gave us this pretty dynamic lecture that was like, yeah, like Hillary sucks, but we got to do this. And it was like,
I used to, and we're talking 25 years ago, probably. I used to email with him. So if, I think it was an AOL address stuff. If he has the same address, I might still have it. But,
yeah, everyone definitely has their AOL. I still have mine, Sweet Carolina Girly at AOL.com, probably.
But like the fact that he was just, answering some kid, some dude, just some guy, and like we would have these like conversations. I was like, why are you talking to me? Like, I don't understand why you're talking to me. I'm going to keep it going, but why are you talking to me?
I feel like a lot of people were like a kind of dynamically inspired by like Chomsky's thing where it's like anybody.
Oh yeah, he'll write back anyone too.
Yeah. When he still email, it's like, and he, like literally I asked him a question, he just emailed right back, and it's like, oh, you're doing this all day, like.
Yeah. Chomsky's god tier level of replying back for sure.
We will definitely make room for Michael Moore on the show,
and he's probably going to politely decline whatever you're asking him to do.
It's like even people trying to talk shit to Chomsky, he would respond with like some kind of like long rambling reply.
Yeah.
But let's do this synopsis.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about emailing random ass people. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Over the Edge here.
So Carl, Michael Kramer, his friends Richie, Claude, the AI Claude, Johnny. Tiger Thompson is a great name, by the way, for an actor. That's like the guy that plays Johnny. Are hanging out at the Rec, a recreation center for kids in New Grenada, a planned community full of condominiums and townhomes. The Rec is pretty much the only thing in town for the children. As the homeowners association, by the way, classically evil phrase, the homeowners association. Totally forgot about the fact that nearly 25% of the population of New Grenada is under the age of 15.
Can I say? Real thing. That's actually real. That actually happened. That is based on true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally my town. Like everyone's so mad. Like I'm like, this is a retiree town. There's like nothing to do for like children here. And it's like, yeah, because all the young folks end up.
I like that the response was basically, oops. Like what? That's yours. Okay, just no plan.
But like, there's also, it's ironic for the runaway crisis, Foster City. It's like, like a lot of those kids probably became foster kids. But it's Conan, you could probably speak to this more than I could, but Foster City is by the San Francisco airport.
Oh yeah, I know it well. I bought a used computer in it once. Of a guy off Craigslist.
The funny thing about, because I was reading a little bit about it. The funny thing is, it's like they planned a city. City planning is important, obviously, but like they just didn't give any thought to the fact that there's a lot of kids there, but they created like an idyllic community for like quiet, like the kind of quiet adults that everything was pretty much reachable by kayak. You can put a kayak in the water. You can literally kayak to the grocery store. They have docks that they put up and everything. Like they have all of these interesting things there, but like not the kind of shit you wanted. Like as someone that was
as a grown adult, it was great. Yeah, but like it's hilarious too because it's very close to. Well, now that's the upper end of Silicon Valley, but like San Mateo, there's Redwood City, there's a bunch of other communities just like that, but none of them made a planning error like this. And granted, yes, you are next to the San Mateo Bridge, so you could like head over to Oakland. You could wouldn't be that far of a drive to San Francisco if you have a car. Which sorry to break it to you, but not people that are working class often don't have access to a car.
Also, not 15, you'd be 16. So it's like even in that case, right? Like it's it's like they're just under the threshold. So
that's why it's a good change to place it where they placed it, because because unfortunately all this information would have to be front loaded that is frankly irrelevant to the story for being a Foster City, as maybe one of the only times I've ever advocated for something that was set in the Bay Area to be set somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's like Colorado at the time was being built up. California had already been built up. So it's like, I'm sure there were more communities going up, but they found a community in Colorado that was actually in the process of being built into one of these planned communities. Like when you see the half-finished house, it is a half-finished house. Like they only had 20 days to do this because they were in the middle of a suburb that was going up around them. So you can actually see the suburb being built in the movie.
All right, so we're about 10 seconds into this.
All right, so naturally the kids find themselves some other ways.
Choose the long plot.
It's gonna be here for 7 hours.
The other one was only 3 paragraphs. It's not enough to like.
All right. That's fine. Either
way. We gotta start asking the Discord. Long synopsis, short synopsis.
I mean, Adam, we did Ghostbusters not that long ago, and the plot synopsis we read, it was. I honestly think it might have been the screenplay. It was so long. I was like, I don't know why. I advocated for this bit, and I don't know what we're doing here. But anyway, go ahead.
All right. So naturally, the kids find themselves some other ways to have fun: sex, drugs, alcohol, vandalism, rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
One of the first scenes shown is Mark Perry and his friend shooting a BB gun at oncoming cars on the overpass. However, when they hit a police cruiser, they laugh and cheer, as you should, and decide to leave before the cops sees them. They hop on their bikes to ride down the road, passing Carl and Richie. One of the great shots to a new the kids who the movie's actually about, right? Like when word about the cops dive into the weeds behind an electric control box. The police car pulls up and out steps Sergeant Doberman, justice for like the dog Doberman.
Not named after a dog breed, by the way.
Yeah, but justice for the actual dogs Doberman, who do not deserve to be labeled as.
I know we had Dobermans. They're sweet, depending on which one you get.
Yeah, well, it was in chat, but Harry Northup, who plays Sergeant Doberman, was having like a pretty crazy series of movies. Like he was in Taxi Driver, he was in.
Sure.
Like there was a somewhere in the chat. If you want to pull it up, there is a comment that has like a bunch of movies that he was in around this time. But the most hated cop in town, there really is always one. He sees the boys upon frisking, and they always look kind of like Harry Northup. He sees the boys upon frisking them, finds a 3-inch pocket knife on Richie. He takes the boys to the station. It calls Carl's father, Fred Willett, played by Andy Romano, warning him about Carl's behavior.
Here we go. Quite a run of films for Harry Northup. Taxi Driver, Over the Edge, and Silence of the Lambs. He's in Silence of the Lambs too. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the setup pretty effectively here, right? I mean, first of all, shooting BB guns at the cops. We made homemade napalm, but like, or allegedly, I think statute of limitations have passed. I don't know.
But, like we moved on from using slingshots and like glass and cans. We're using BB guns now.
And then what a heel move to be like, oh, cops are coming, better hide, and then like basically, letting them be your advanced guard to get busted. It's like, oh, that tells you everything you need about those guys as well as Doberman himself.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you can see that there's like levels of scummy to some of these kids. It's like each of these kids has like a different level of like Carl's obviously like the nicest out of them. It's like.
But then everyone can agree that Sergeant Doberman sucks.
Yeah. But there's always one of those. There's always one cop that people like kids kind of like more than the other ones, and then there's always one that they're like, oh,
let's just slide, like, oh, you kids are smoking that devil's whatever.
Yeah, and it's like,
oh, the street lamps are on his 2 dark eyes. You're still in this. It's fine.
I have to talk about the counselor at the center.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I had the biggest crush on when I was like 12 years old. I was like, she's the coolest. But there was always that kind of lady, mostly women, sometimes men, in the late 70s, early 80s, who was like, cool, got the big picture, and it was always contrasted by the local cop. So they nailed that dynamic. Like,
did you guys have a rec center? Like we have one in town that's where after school you'd like it's walking distance enough that it's like you walked there, you walked through the apple orchards and got to town and walked there.
So when I was younger, I lived in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh, did you ever cross paths with Sam Cedar then? Did you cross paths with Sam Cedar? Because that's where he's originally from.
Oh, all right. Worcester. And Worcester was rough, and we had a boys' club, and you would think, oh, that's great, but no, it was just where all my friends boxed, and we would go to boxing matches. But when I moved to Pennsylvania, we were in this kind of scrungy little town, we had nothing. There was no boys club, no park. And so there was an art teacher who was like an ex-hippie who was really cool. So I always remember her, but that dynamic they capture in the film is
perfect.
Spot on. And my mom was a little bit of an ex-counter, and not really a hippie, but counterculture person. So when I got in trouble for throwing tomatoes at cars, she went up to the local police and was like, "Don't you have anything better to do?" So that kind of energy was going on. So the opening of this movie, when I was watching it with my 12, 13-year-old friends, we were like, yes.
And right, because it's an adult who actually seems to give a damn about what happens with the kids, and that they have a place that they can be at and be themselves and not constantly hassled or harangued or forced into indoctrination ceremonies, more or less, right? And agreed. I caught the tail end of that. I'm Gen X, but just barely, and that was like on the outs already. when I was a kid, I got to see a little bit of it. It was great. Yeah, and then Reagan shut that all down.
Yeah, there's like a thing too where it's like I feel like the more suburban a town is, the more hard ass the cops are, because they don't have anything to do. You know what I mean? It's like
a lot of guys.
As someone who tours for a living, I can guarantee you that that's the case. Because when you're on tour, man, what I tell anybody is like, stay on the freeway. Do not take rural roads if you don't have to. And if you do not speed. Whatever you do.
But, yes, when we're going to like the coast, like to Beaufort, there's all these little small towns, and my mom was warning my sister like, don't go above 30 or 35. She's like, it's fine. And then of course she goes like 36, and she gets pulled over. It's like, no.
Because that's probably the only.
They still have quotas. Yeah,
they still have quotas, and it's one of the only things that actually brings revenue into the town a lot of times, especially with desiccated, workforce and whatnot. Anyway, that wasn't your point, Kristina. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's kind of like how, like, growing up, like, I guess, like, in the borough, in the township, like, everyone knows each other. Like, if everyone would know what you got in trouble with by the end of the day. But like a lot of the kids that my dad bullied ended up being cops. And they always had it out for him, and it's like,
well, there you go. You want cops? Because this is how you get cops.
We're only in one.
Jesus Christ, we're like one paragraph, maybe.
Yeah, we're in one paragraph.
Please keep going.
All right. Fred is a local Cadillac salesman. Classic 70s job, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
An upper middle class job. Before getting Doberman's call, is talking to Jerry Cole, president of the Homeowners Association. Fuck you. About getting Mr. Sloan, a wealthy Texas landowner, to come see the land across the street from the wreck with the hopes of building an industrial park there. It's another like phrase that I've always really hated. It's like an industrial park. It's like they've taken it out of the realm of like the social or like public good, and they're like, let's create an industrial park here for businesses to dump things. Back. It's like creating a Disneyland for businesses. Back at the police station, Doberman is questioning.
That's called the United States of America, by the way. But yeah, go ahead.
Doberman is questioning Richie and Carl about who had the gun, and Richie tells him he only has one law: a kid who tells another kid is a dead kid. Richie then is taken out of the room, and Doberman continues lecturing Carl about where he's going and where he's going to end up if he keeps this up. The Hill, a correction center for kids in the area. I got stuck in one of those kinds of places. But it wasn't as bad as I'm guessing the Hill is in this movie when he goes, because he's on a prison bus in the end. Then Carl and his father drive home, where Sandra Willett, Ellen Gear waits. But instead of talking to his mother, Carl runs upstairs and locks himself in his room, blaring Cheap Trick. It's Cheap Trick.
Hell yeah.
Not what it is. One of the best moments
so good
for me in my sweaty personal cinema history is him putting on the headphones and pan across as Surrender, and Linkletter. I guarantee you Linkletter loves this movie because that was it. We only had so many ways to escape. There was like vandalism, music, and then the Playboy magazines we would hide in the woods, and that was pretty much. And then joking around with your friends in the in between. But that surrender, that
do you guys know the story of how they picked that, like, Cheap Trick as the band for a lot of this stuff?
No, it was meant to be Van Halen originally, right? And then
well, yes, but the the soundtrack in general, right? Because there's like 3 Cheap Trick songs on this.
Yeah,
the reason that it's Cheap Trick is that Pamela Ludwig, who played Corey, like the love interest in this in this film, she, out of all the kids, was 18, and the rest of them are like 14, 15. So she had like a boyfriend that was a roadie, and Jonathan Kaplan, obviously at this point, is like 30. So he's like not, he's in that as kind of I am right now, that liminal place where it's like you're an adult and you're trying to figure out the pop references in the stuff, but just young enough to still be able to like connect with the kids, but also like a little bit like aging out of that zone. So he had Pamela Ludwig picking out the music for this. He's like, you're 18. You're like the perfect age to do this. And her boyfriend had taken her as like a roadie to go see like a bunch of concerts right before this, and she's like, "Oh, I saw Cheap Trick."
Wow,
that rocks.
It was not as hard in the late 70s to identify the bands that were crossing the line. Now, you have that kind of corporate pop music sphere, but underneath that, there's so many things. Back then, it was really clear who the bands. It was like the Cars, Styx. It was obviously they could not get the rights, but like Led Zeppelin was it. Like if you went to a keg party in the woods, they would always be playing Led Zeppelin. So there weren't really that many bands, and no one was cool enough at that point to be listening to the Ramones, New York Dolls.
Right. Yeah, as much as I love television, when I see a modern movie and someone's listening to television, I'm like, come on.
Never.
Did you live in New York?
Yeah, like
down the street from them?
6 blocks on the,
Right, exactly. Come on.
So
no way.
It was like, I remember being in 5th grade, 6th grade, and the song Renegade from Styx came out.
Yeah.
And they were the worst kids in the school that were listening to that. There were like 3 of them. Yeah. And I was like, that's fucking cool.
Right.
Oh, no.
Aspiring woodshop majors. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, everyone knew it wasn't this kind of like, are you into Jesus Lizard? Are you into screaming females?
Yeah.
Are you into
right?
There are like 100 bands. Back then, it was like there were like 6. The Who a little bit, but mostly Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
They had a Van Halen was going to be the band that did they did Van Halen in this, but they had Light Up the Sky was written as like part of this Paramount deal where they had a bunch of songs that they were going to give to. One of them was going to be given as the theme song for this, Light Up the Sky. Oh. And then Van Halen turned around and went. They saw the movie and went, "Yeah, I think we're going to put this one on the album."
Yeah, which is an interesting story.
Van Halen is a tricky band because there's no doubt, because of Eddie Van Halen's guitar playing, that they are a kind of harder band. They were cool, no doubt, but ultimately kind of without purpose, kind of party band. I mean, the idea that they could watch this movie and be like,
and have some critical thinking to
that
it.
is
Yeah.
a bad moment for Van Halen. And we now know that like David Lee Roth was just all about empty partying. And yeah, that's a bad moment in the history of
there's an interview apparently that they did right after seeing it where they're literally like you could actually like you could actually hear like Eddie Van Halen in the process of like realizing like I know we're not gonna put this on the thing, so he's like, yeah, there's this movie and we've written the song, but I don't know, we just got out of a screen. Like you could hear him in real time like processing it.
The actual quote is, "We went and saw a screening of the flick, and it ain't gonna win no Academy Award or nothing."
Whoa!
It's also like get the fuck out of here! Like,
get out of here, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, you think you're an Academy? You think you're an Academy Award level artist? It's like
also right away you have shitty taste.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was a producer. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was with Burt Reynolds, and it was like an ice hockey team that overcomes stuff. And Burt Reynolds had been nominated for Boogie Nights, so they had to like fly him out of the shoot, which was up in like Calgary or wherever, and he was getting on the helicopter and he turned to the whole crew and he was like, what I'm going for the nomination for is a terrible movie.
Oh, he fucking hated Boogie Nights, dude. He almost Thomas Anderson.
Nothing against anyone who worked on that hockey movie, but no.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like Van Halen's story is like, you guys are a little bit dumb. Like, yeah.
Well, think of the thing with Boogie Nights. He almost fist fought Paul Thomas Anderson on set, which is what inspired the scene where it's like they almost get to the fist fight between like Wahlberg and him. Like that clash is like inspired by the tension that was happening with Paul Thomas Anderson because Burt Reynolds like I don't even know like this movie's trash. This movie I'm not this kind of guy. And it's like, number one, yes the fuck you are, dude. Like you are absolutely like that kind of fucking scumbag.
Well, yeah, and Light Up the Sky
with the Heart of Gold too at the end of the movie.
Light Up the Sky is a really great song. I think that song rules. Like I'm not, I don't love all Van Halen, but Light Up the Sky is an objectively like great song in their catalog.
Early Van Halen, like Running with the Devil, that was part of the music. When you would go to a basement party, a party in the woods, you're like, all right.
Boombox with D or C batteries, playing a tape or something. Yeah, and they miss an opportunity to have a like cars moving in stereo, Fast Times at Ridgemont High moment of just like being an iconic, coming of age teen movie that like they fucked up anyway. But good for Cheap Trick.
Was it Slapshot? Is that the? I don't know. That's the hockey movie. Yeah.
All right. Again, we're like 5 minutes into this plot synopsis. Can we get back to that, please? All right.
The next day at school, Carl and Richie tell Claude about their escapades with the police. Movie night escapades. That's what. Oh
yeah, exactly. That's good.
Claude announces that he took speed to prepare for the upcoming test. He then looks. I love this part of the thing. He then looks at the slide of a painting. Instead of seeing the actual painting, he sees this mangled, hard thing. That could have just been the painting, but they go to the assembly. So he actually takes acid before his test.
Yeah.
I got some acid. You want some?
Yeah.
That his test is about Hieronymus Bosch.
That's right. Hieronymus. Yeah. Bosch. Yes.
First subject to be on
acid for. Yeah, it's such a killer scene. Amongst that type of scene in those types of movies, it's amongst the best for that alone.
Well, it's also like, I don't know, it's such a classic like high school kid thing. It's like you sell the wrong drugs to the person. You're like, oh, don't worry, dude, this is fun. This is speed, and it's like clearly acid. And the kid's like, well, I bought this speed. And like takes a tab. It's like, I don't think that's what speed looks like. They go to an assembly about the recent vandalism on the highway, where Carl gets a look at the love of his life, Corey, who's absolutely crazy about. Later after school, Carl's getting dressed to go out, once again listening to his music, only this time it's the Ramones. When Carl is
Rock and Roll High School.
And asks his father about the land across from the wreck, but upon getting an answer different to what he wanted, he leaves for the wreck. I'm going to the wreck. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It's great. Great Ramones placement. You know, I'm a teenage lobotomy. Great. You know, like Ramones are the soundtrack for this era of suburban ennui.
Punk. Yeah.
You know, like
because
can you give me like a quarter second to get through this? So like with them, somebody accurately pointed out that it was all I don't want to this, I don't want to that, and the first song they wrote about they want to do something is now I want to sniff some glue.
Yeah.
Of all the things you want to sniff, why not Sharpies?
The Ramones and like Black Sabbath are entirely the result of poor city planning.
Yeah, we wouldn't have them without it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Tony Iommi would still have his little finger. You know, like those parallel worlds.
If only they had had a park and a kids club.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Conan, I have one more paragraph, and then I'll pass it to you.
Okay.
But this is really long. The wreck closes at 6 p.m., but that doesn't stop the kids from having fun. The kids bring pot, music, and alcohol to the wreck after hours and have their own little party. Fuck it, I'm having my own little party. Where Claude ends up buying a gram of hash from Tip, a friend. The party moves when an announcement about a party at a boy's house is made. The party is basically your teens, sex, drugs, beer, and Van Halen. Hell yeah, brother. Carl sees Corey on the couch making out with Mark, the boy who shot the cop car, and got Carl and Richie busted. Mark then warns Carl about mentioning his name to the cops, and when Carl gives a sarcastic remark, he leaves. Carl gets upset with Corey, telling her that she could do a lot better than Mark. Classic, like as a kid.
You can do better.
As a kid that's not getting laid, and like you see someone, and you're like, you could do so much better. You clearly mean yourself. Like,
yeah, clearly. Yeah, duh. I nominate myself. I'm like Dick Cheney.
So something that made me see this the whole party scene differently. There's like a making of article from Vice where they go through the making of this movie with like, they do like what I really like when they do that, when they have like all the people involved in it telling stories about the thing.
Yeah.
They actually got the kid drunk that was hosting the party because they're like,
method acting.
Well, because they handed him a beer. The kid was like really nervous, and they like, I mean, it's the 70s. It's the last time you could do that, I think, on a film set. Give like a kid out. Like now I don't think you could.
There's laws.
I mean,
yeah. But it's like when they gave the kid a couple of shots, and then they gave him like a beer, but then they had to keep doing the take again because like there's just so many moving parts. So he had to keep drinking a beer every time. So like this kid, you can see him get more and more trashed as the scene goes on.
It ends up being like that Orson Welles Paul Masson commercial.
Because he walks out at one like the first thing you see of that one. Yeah, the first thing you see of that kid goes, "How did you find out about my party, bro?"
Yeah, hey, it's true to life.
Yeah,
that the moment where Carl goes down the stairs, and you really got me covered by Van Halen kicks in, and you're in the basement. That's pretty much my entire experience from age 15 to 18. Like the energy of that, like I remember there were these girls in high school who were like the hottest, coolest girls that my friends and I were always joking around with, but we weren't quite on the tier where we would date. Mm-hmm. And we were like, where are you guys going? And they told us, do not come to this party. It is older guys. It is a tougher scene. So right away, we're like, we're going. And we showed up in my black and gold Gremlin and went into the party with like 4 wine coolers back when wine coolers were an option. And we were all buzzed, and the whole party was like 3-4 years old. They were like dudes with beards. there were like guys with wedding rings, and they all wanted to beat our ass. And we had to run out. And my friend Tim took the wheel of my Gremlin and smashed into another car.
Oh my God.
Took off. I mean, it was Linkletter.
Yeah, I want to see this movie. This sounds great.
Yeah.
Are you writing this? Are you writing a script for this?
Like days, there were like 20-year-olds hunting us. And so that moment when Carl goes down the stairs, perfection.
Yeah,
perfect.
Like I mean, I still live in this town, but the town that I live in, like the only real like big economic engine is like the college. Like it's a town that's like built around a college. So in high school, you'd like try to go to like you try to gate crash fucking college parties or like frat parties as like a 16 or 17-year-old, and every single time they'd be like, oh, these are kids that are trying to come.
These are children. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. You're clearly high school students. You're not in college. Oh, what's your major, buddy? Like,
yeah. By the way, I'd like to welcome our new sponsor, Bartles and James. Bartles and James wine coolers now available. All right.
Yeah, but as a kid, you don't think about the fact that like if people are in their 20s and you get caught at their party as like a teenager, like they're in for a shitload of trouble. But you're like, oh, why are these 20-year-olds being such hard asses? Like,
oh yeah, but they weren't 21.
Yeah,
they were just like, you know. I mean,
I'm just saying in general. I just remember gate crashing stuff and being like, why are these adults not letting us come into their party?
There's a social hierarchy to be sure, and I think that's carried over.
Yeah.
Let's see. Carl gets to Corey telling her she could do better than Mark. Yeah, classic. Carl then leaves
By the
unknowingly.
way, should have in the end,
Yeah.
Paul said Corey did not do better than Mark. Carl's not great either. Like,
she
Carl,
stayed on the same tier, kind of.
I mean, Carl's a class traitor, which I love.
That's true. That's right.
But otherwise, no, I don't think Corey.
Yeah, it's the only nice kid whose dad has ever been a Cadillac dealer.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like that's always the one really stuck up kid. It's like, oh, my dad sells luxury cars in this town, and it's like that kid's gonna grow up to be an asshole. Well, even though everyone talks down to the guy in this movie, they're like, "Go, you like selling cars, buddy? Get out of here." Carl gets upset with Carl then leaves, followed unknowingly by Mark and his friend. While Carl is walking home alone, they jump him, beat him up, and take his money. It's played as like almost a Chaplin movie. It's like a silent
piano music.
Yeah, they have like music in the background, and it's like that could be like because they pretty brutally beat this kid up, like. But they play it at I think it's at like very slightly faster on purpose than like it might be like 1.25 like because
the way you gotta you think Ben Shapiro's speed is
well because they throw him on the ground, they throw the kid on the ground, and then there's like a fasting where they pick him back up and then they throw him on the ground again, and it's like it's played almost as almost like a silent film a little bit.
I remember it as one of the moments where the film is taking a step back and the score kind of gets into the light. I had never seen a beatdown filmed like that when I was like 12 or 13. I was like, wait, why is this emotional and profound? And you realize like that was the moment now that I'm older where I'm like, oh, this movie is taking kind of a sociological, anthropological look at poor city planning.
Yeah.
With really cool music and good drugs. But that moment, that was where I was like, I've never seen anything like this.
It's also like there's a almost
it's
like
brutal.
I'm trying to think of like the phrase. There's like a phrase for it, but it's like kind of birth by fire or whatever. Like the first time, if you like the first time you get jumped, kind of, or get into a fight like that and get kind of bloodied as a teenager. It's like it's one of those moments where number one, like it's scary before that to think about like getting beaten up. Like, but like there's a point I feel like where you do get beaten up and you get bloodied and you realize like I can make it through this at least. Like it hurts like a motherfucker, but like,
just wanted to say Adam is the man and this squad is the best. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. You can comment that anytime. Thank you.
Super chat.
You can comment on that at the grocery store. I'll be happy to respond.
I just remember getting beat up for the first time when I was like 15 and
Forrest, how dare you? I don't want to talk about that. I'm sorry, okay?
Sad you weren't going to mention it on air.
No, I used to beat the shit out of my bullies like in high school. And kids says I was like the good, in middle school says I was like the good like teacher.
No wonder you like X.
Yeah, they never suspected a thing. They're like, Kristina did not do that to you. And I'm like,
I love it because there was that moment where girls shot ahead of boys and were taller. And there were girls you had to watch your ass around who were like 4 inches taller than you.
Yeah, if you made fun of me.
Well, Forrest, I'm about to dump you in a trash can if you don't finish up this paragraph. Right. Come on.
No, but when I got jumped as a teenager, it was because my friend owed somebody money, and I remember the deep injustice of being like, I'm not even the one that owes the money. I didn't I didn't take out anybody. But
what? They were always doing stuff to you. If anyone else is doing, like, remember when Dan yelled at? And I'm like, but I'm the one who said anyway.
When Carl gets home, he tries to avoid his parents seeing the cuts and bruises, but fails. Yeah, you always do that too, and it's like. You don't want your like parents, but Carl gets questioned about when refusing to tell them who jumped him. Runs upstairs and locks himself in his room. Fred and Jerry Cole, fuck you, Jerry Cole. Talk about making sure the wreck is closed the next day when Sloan comes to visit. Chris Murphy's coming. Sloan is coming to visit. You know.
Yeah, that's gonna end well, right? It's great.
They're coming over to Canada to play at the rec center. Sorry.
The next day at the rec, everyone's talking about Carl's event, but he only releases the names. Release the names, Claude, Richie, Johnny, and Alan, another friend of theirs. And while they're talking, Julia, the rec counselor, again, great character, goes outside to talk to Doberman about the rec staying open. This is kind of an underrated scene because, again, these kinds of things being so important for not even just at-risk youth, just youth in general, to have a place to go and hang out with other kids that is not school. Like it really is something that we need to bring back. There's a socioeconomic part to this too, where they're trying to sell the industrial park. It's not like they're closing the rec center for the day because they're trying to make it look good for the Texas oil businessman or whatever that's trying to buy the industrial park. And it's like they're perfectly willing to throw these poor kids to like the wolves, or like the middle class kids to the wolves.
Also, you remember that like 20 years ago, there would be an argument like more police means less crime. Well, statistically, and according to the data, that has been completely disproven. The more money you put into after school programs, parks, like, I mean, beyond any doubt,
touching grass actually helps.
Yeah, and just fit for kids to do. So, like, you really see it here. By the way, I'm going to argue that a new villain emerges with the Texas developer, which is a villain I've talked about many times. You see this villain in The Wire, in A French Village, and all these different great shows and movies, which is blind careerism. Mm-hmm. And Carl's dad has it.
Absolutely.
By the way, I want the only thing more cops leads to is more Candy Crush.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, it is. It is kind of like this villainous force, but also like every character within this dynamic is talking down to the other characters. Like the Homer, like Jerry, the scumbag Homer Owners Association guy, talks down to Carl's dad constantly. The Texas guy talks down to the president of the Homeowners Association. Each guy desperately wants the other person to accept them. As an adult man wants the other person to accept them for economic and social reasons, but like. Each person is clearly being condescended to by the next person up on this chain.
All right. Doberman goes inside and searches Claude, finding the gram of hash in his pocket and taking him in. However, when they walk outside, Richie is standing on the cop car and make the cops chase him around the grounds. Great scene, by the way. And just taking away all his power and authority. Just in like
it's so epic too. Because it just has the shot of Matt Dillon on the cop car.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, get off that cop car!"
Yeah,
he's standing on top of the cop car, and he's like, dun 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 dun. Yeah. He's like, "This is good." Yeah,
it's great. When the cops finally leave, Carl and Richie go get sodas, where Richie gives Carl firecrackers. Then they get on their bikes and ride around the neighborhood. Where they find
when you got firecrackers as like a teenager, that was.
Yeah, that's a good day.
That was like a great. That would be a great day. It's like there's so much stuff you could do with them.
They find Corey and her best friend Abby running out of a house carrying a plastic bag. They stop him and grab the bag, finding a gun in it, which the girls stole from the house. Then they all go to a half-finished town home, which Carl and Richie call their condo. After planning a picnic with the gun, Corey gets up and starts dancing with the gun in her hand, another iconic scene, pointing at Carl playfully. But the gun goes off, and Carl scares everyone into thinking that he's shot. Dick move, by the way, but funny.
I would argue one of the 10 most American scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Film, half unfinished home, gunplay, sexual tension,
rock and roll song. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking most American activity. I could think of Picnic with a Gun.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And also a memorable scene, too, just because it's so very much tied to the time as well. Yes, the gun goes off. Carl scares everyone into thinking he's shot. The group then goes their separate ways. When Carl gets home, he sees Sloane's car in the driveway and, upset at his father, places the firecrackers, Chekhov's firecrackers, given to him by Richie in the car's engine so that when the car's turned on, they will light. Sloane and his boys, scared, then leave, but not before warning Fred that if he doesn't stop to listen to his son, it will come back to bite him. Chekhov's conversation. The next day, Carl calls Claude and Johnny, telling them to come to the picnic. They all show up, the gun picnic, the aforementioned gun picnic. They show up, and after shooting the gun and realizing that Carl's the only one with any sense of aim at all, they start walking. During the walk, Claude tells them there was Tip who sold him the hash, and Corey announces that Tip has recently gotten busted for possession. So they decide to pay Tip a visit, and while the boys hold Tip down and interrogate him, the girls ransack his kitchen. Great scene. Talk about anarchy, by the way. Tip tells him that he told Doberman who sold the hash to because he was arrested. Richie then points the gun at him, and Johnny lights a firecracker, making a gun sound. Harrowing, but hilarious. Before leaving, the boys throw Tip in the water under the porch, much to the chagrin of his mother, who's across the way playing like golf or something, right? Before Corey and
tennis.
Before Corey and Abby leave Carl and Richie, Corey runs over to Carl and gives him a kiss, showing him that she likes him as much as he likes her.
Oh,
but it really does show you this like a perfect thing with this community. This like the one kid's mother like is playing tennis in like the tennis courts. It's like there's all these activities for adults in this town, but like nothing for the kids.
And it's funny, but also kind of like low grade horrific. That it's like, okay, you're gonna like make this kid think he's got shot because you're messing with him.
It's like what gangs do when they want to give you a warning, but they don't want to take the charge for killing you.
Yeah, exactly. But it ends up being a belly full of laughs because it's firecrackers instead. But I mean, it's also because
the kid that's holding them is like looks like he's like 9.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say it's the youngest dealer ever busted. But it works out to great comedic effect. When Carl gets home, he is told by his mother and father that he's forbidden to see Claude or Richie any longer and that the wreck will be closed. That'll end well.
It never works. Like when your parents like, you're forbidden to see your friends. Like you're going to go see your friends.
Yeah. You've just made it 20 times cooler.
I think status, class, motivated gags of silence do work. I think, like, you look at the U.S., like, you're not allowed to talk about the ethnic cleansing campaign of Israel. You're not allowed to talk about class disparity, climate breakdown. And, like, things are going pretty good in the U.S. I hate to break it to you. Censorship and gag orders have a great track record.
Yeah,
work.
Yeah.
I
just meant like as a
they always work.
When your parents say like you can't see your friends, like
I was joking. I know.
The wheels are falling off the old wagon. But I mean, for a while, it did work for a while. Like but
the wheels of the bus aren't going round and round like they used to.
The wheels have completely fallen off the censorship machine.
Would you say that at 60% of the time it works every time, Adam?
Always. Yeah. Every friend I had that my parents said, I don't want you seeing them anymore, became one of my best friends.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Carl gets in a fight with his father, and when Carl takes a swing at him, he smacks him across the face, causing him to, once again, lock himself in his room, his default state.
He punches him right in the place that he had a black eye, and his father punches his black eye.
Yeah. Just like a good old liberal. The next day at school, in science class, Carl sees Tip's mother and the school's principal talking in a connected classroom. Tip's mother tells the principal the names of the boys that assaulted her son, and this causes Carl to snap. He grabs Richie in the hallway, and they run home. Richie grabs his gun, and they steal his mother's car, leaving town. That is a lot of action for one sentence, but is all the things that happen in the movie. We haven't even.
There's days where weeks happen and weeks where
we haven't even talked about Richie's whole situation, but it's like I think that's fascinating as well because there's
the only weird thing with Richie, the tenement that he lives in is bizarre. Like it feels like a low income housing in like late 70s Soviet Union. Because I was born in Colorado. Like my parents were broke in Colorado. I don't ever remember seeing like Kung Fu Hustle style giant. That's the only little complaint. But I also love that Richie's mom is cool. She gets it. You can feel the kind of left wing versus centrist right wing kind of the energy, which we all know now comes to an awful fruition. And I remember that energy. You see it in Dazed and Confused when the kids are leaving the classroom going into summer and the teacher is like, remember, this country was founded by white landowners and slave owners. That energy really was there in the 70s. And now it's totally
gone.
Yeah.
By the way, Richie got bussed in from New Jersey. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The long bus ride.
Yeah. Well, no. The only thing I would say about the mom keeps her stash in the car. You never want to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
You have way less rights on the road. So,
different times. You gotta take down the boat. Get a maritime law. Anyway, Doberman sees them leave and chases them. During the chase, great. Carl begs Richie to throw the gun out of the car, but he refuses. The car then gets flipped over, very jarring. The two boys run in opposite directions. Richie points the gun at Doberman. who mistakes it for being loaded. So Doberman shoots and kills Richie. Okay, does he mistake it for being loaded, or is he just using it as an excuse?
No, he does not mistake it for being loaded, because you see later at the thing that he knows it's not loaded at the community meeting. He knows it's not loaded.
To be clear, I was just reading that, and I take issue with that.
Say, like, why is he chasing them? Like, every police chase I ever see is like, why are you like?
Over something so minor, and it's not even like you're doing. They're just running away.
Like you stole something or you attacked someone. Like whatever. Like run away, and I'll get you in 4 days. So I would say with Richie and Carl, like, who cares? They're kids. Like, so the whole event of chasing them is predicated on the local real estate market needs fascist cops to, you know what I mean? It's
it's why Doberman's basically the face of the neoliberal enforcement agency.
Well, and it's also why, like, you know, like little reforms like body cams are kind of sometimes completely like bullshit, like, because you don't have the context of, you know, like there's a lot of context in this movie. Originally they get busted by the Doberman story, right? Like they get busted by the cops. The cop is already harassing them at that point. Clearly has it in for Richie, and has it in for Carl because his dad's the Cadillac. He's like trying to scare him straight, and like so that dynamic already exists. And then Richie jumps on the car, and that's the moment that the cop's like, "Yo, if I ever see this kid," and I have
it's a grudge. It's a grudge. He's looking to reclaim his what he feels is his stolen honor and stolen respect.
Why
whereas
he had kids, man.
Whereas he had no honor and nobody respected him, so that was all an illusion in his mind. But it's like he's trying to save face, I think, much than anything else. So
I don't know if
that can't be captured on like a body cam, or that can't be captured in like the way that the story is expressed in, you know, the way that police are able to exploit or change the story or whatever. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know if you guys know, but there was a kind of sideways sequel to this movie, kind of the way like Tin Men is a sideways sequel to Diner, where it lives in the same world, and it's called the Ballad of Doberman, and it's about kind of like a prequel about how Doberman became a cop. And he was in LA as a folk musician. He was kind of doing like Nick Drake style folk way before anyone was, and was kind of laughed out of that scene. And then he had a really bad experience with acid, and he was lifting weights to where it's a great movie. Dennis Hopper plays a young Doberman. But anyway,
he's the Bob Roberts of his day. Yeah.
he's sitting there. He's like, oh, hey, it's me, Doberman. This guy's doing a bad Bob Dylan impression. Get him the fuck out of here. I'm a cat now.
I like the idea of him being more like Nick Drake, because that's even like less believable. We have Harry Northup doing a Nick Drake impersonation. Great, I'm in. Say less. I'm watching.
Something about Harry Northup's face reminds me a little bit of like, it's almost Andy Kaufman-esque.
Okay.
He's got those wide eyes, and like it's just something about his face that like reminded me of.
Interesting. So Doberman shoots and kills Richie. Carl runs away to the condo, but not before calling Johnny to confirm that Richie is really dead, and calling Corey to tell her to meet him. She
back
brings
back in the 70s, they would kill white kids too.
Back in my day, they don't want to do it anymore. They don't
think so. I think back then, he almost exclusively killed people of color, which is why the Richie. By the way, there's not a lot of people of color in this movie.
Nope.
But it is.
What?
in fairness, it's Colorado.
It's Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In fairness, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like I feel like a lot of like
it's not just the snow that's white. Am I right, folks?
There's a lot of juvenile delinquent style movies. I feel like where it's like a gang of white kids, and almost I think when they're doing this movie's parodying kind of those exploitation kind of things. But I feel like to a suburban white audience, it's nothing scarier than a group of black kids, obviously. But in some ways, it's like your own kids could become your own kids could become this. Your own kids could become street hoodlums, and it's like that's they're like scared because you watch a lot of those old like IT drug movies. And it's always like a white kid. Like I mean, a black guy sometimes gives them the drugs, but that is like
it's always why did he OD in the pool? My sweet white son. What happened?
He was so sweet and white. And my son.
Movies I used to watch in class. I'm like, no one's watching this, really?
I'm imagining Tom Hanks, Colonel Tom Parker, being he was so sweet and white.
There's somebody that OD'd in the pool.
Massacred my sweet white innocent.
There's someone that OD'd in the pool. I don't have time for this. He's white. And then you see,
now I got time.
He's white.
Yeah. Okay, so Corey and Carl, she brings a sleeping bag and they spend the night together. After Corey leaves in the morning, Carl runs home to grab money, and along the way he sees Mark riding his dirt bike. He takes Mark's BB gun and shoots him in the shoulder, not harming him. Well, harming him a little bit, causing him to flip over his bike. Mark then sits down with Carl, talking about what they're going to do about the parent situation. They then decide...
You and me, we could be friends, man. We don't have to do this.
I think that seems great.
I do too.
And they decide their fight was stupid and they make up. I think that just goes to show you that, like, this character that we had seen as like, just like, this one-dimensional villain, black hat villain, like in this situation. I was like, no, he's in a more jacked up situation than our protagonist is. Like
our protagonist is not in that jacked up. Like he's the class creator of the group. Like
yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's my point is that like the person we've been thinking of is like just the villain. It's like, no, he's like just in a rough situation. And
it's also like this is what the establishment fears. It's like the kids uniting and taking down the parents.
And a billion dead white kids alive. I don't know.
They say their fight was stupid and make up. Then Carl goes home, and upon climbing into the house through an upstairs window, he sees his mother on the phone with his father about a big meeting at the school that night to talk about the new trend of violence with the children. He locks himself in his mother's room, gets on the phone, asking of his parents if they wish he got shot too.
You wish I got shot too? That's like kids be like that. Kids be like, I bet you wish I got shot too. And it's like,
and there's too late.
Your parents clearly don't wish you got shot too. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at in Home Alone. He's like, I wish I had another family. And she's like, well, you might get your wish this time.
I wish I had another family. And then the angel comes down and
and then suddenly he's on the Cosby Show.
This family's not even the same race as me. Why is Bill Cosby my dad? I'm white.
You probably would have preferred it. Put the damn pants up is what he would say.
I know what I said. Kristina, you want to take us home?
Yeah. So after leaving his home that night, Carl goes to the rec where all his friends are. They then make a plan to show the parents that they need to listen to them, lock them in the school's auditorium, and wreck the school. Hell yeah, that'll definitely do something.
That's a quick 2 sentences for like a very crazy part of the movie.
I like how this has a lot of excess details when it's like stuff where nothing's happening, but then once it happens, it just goes
well, and this is you talked in the intro for us. I'm glad you threw it in here. Was that it was a partial inspiration for the Smells Like Teen Spirit video?
Yeah,
and it absolutely is. It's like basically the kids taking over the school, right? And like that. This is, but it's way more. This is way more. There's flames. There's
it's when the movie kind of leaves the realm of the actual story of. I mean, well, there was a big parent meeting in Foster City, like that is.
Yeah.
But the kids kind of story, like it kind of at one point leaves the realm of the of like the actual story that because it's 2 guys that are like hearing a story from a bunch of kids, and that's their screenplay is like that's how they wrote the screenplay. That's where they got like inspired from. But it's like that's where it leaves the realm of like the kids told me this story. It goes to like we need an ending for this movie. Like
Well, because I think one of the more important,
forever, you know, like.
Because one of the more important scenes is you have Mark and like his people come up and you're like, uh-oh, like what's going to happen? And it's like, oh no, they're all aligned basically against the parents, you know? And like that's,
you unite and you throw off your oppressors.
Well, yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, you know, we can talk about the nature of the oppression in question, but like, I think it's a very powerful moment where you have, you know, people putting aside their differences, you know, kids in this case, to unite against a common enemy, the parents, as we all know. Yes,
we're gonna abolish bedtimes. We're gonna abolish curfew.
But I think it's also important to remember at the time this movie came out, like, class solidarity, left-wing politics, like those were still in the air. Now we know the left wing has no institutional power, no footprint in wide, you know, mass media. But back then, like, I can remember Gil Scott Heron, the last, like, this stuff was. And so this ending at that time was powerful, and it hit us like, hey, you better watch out for us because we are not compliant. We're not going to put up with that.
We're not going to take it. Oh, wait, that's a little too early.
Oh, no. Well, that was written originally by a working class band from the UK. And then America, it was covered by a crappy American sort of commercial band. But that was the kind of energy. So this ending, like, it hit in the late 70s, early 80s.
I mean, it still hits now, but it's like even more so just because you're not used to seeing things go that direction where it's like, oh wow, they're what's going on? They're using bike locks to like lock them in. That's crazy. You know?
I thought this movie was going to take a very Carrie the director.
Oh, sure.
Brian De Palma, split shot. Let's go.
It was like you have like the
The moment of the entire movie is when they blow up the homeowners association.
Yeah, fuck the homeowners
car, because that's like his childhood dream that he's forcing and ignoring these, like, that, and it's kind of played as a little bit sad, which I like. Once again, I love the score for this.
So good,
because it's never one way or the other. But that, to me, that car, I mean, we did it in a ridiculous, cartoonish way in Step Brothers with Richard Jenkins' dream of sailing around on his boat. And it's like, hey, dude, you haven't even raised your son. Like, you want to leave on this boat for this? And like, when you see this moment in the film where that vintage car is blown up, are you sad, or are you like, let it go, do the work that needs to be done now? Anyway, it's
homeowners associations too are such an interesting feature of like the American ideology, kind of, because well, number one, like the reason
you can't chop down this dead tree, it makes the yard beautiful, keep it. What?
But no, like the reason for homeowners associations originally is racial covenants. A town government is not allowed to do that kind of racial covenant under the law, but a homeowners association absolutely is, as long as you don't codify it. Like, and it's the same idea with like, if government's boot is on your neck, you're like, you know, in America, right? You're like, oh, fuck this government. But then you'll create these entities and structures that overregulate everything. As long as it's not technically like a government structure, everyone's like completely cool with it. It's like, it's like, I can do whatever I want with my property, but this corporate entity says I can't. So
By the way, destruction of the classic car, classic FO of the FAFO.
Yeah.
Since we're using lots of acronyms now. Additionally, before we let Kristina close us out with the synopsis, I do want to say that Doberman, aka the stupid cop that's been the problem the entire time, saying everything is under control, when it very clearly isn't. That's the Democratic Party.
Yeah, very much.
Also,
it was not in control.
It's that joke from the Naked Gun, where it's like there's an explosion.
The building's burning.
Behind
People
Frank
are
Drebin.
jumping, falling off the roof. Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, the explosion behind Frank Drebin. He's like, everything's under control. Please disperse. Please disperse. Everything is under control.
Yeah.
It's the same energy. All right,
Now,
Kristina, take us home.
Doberman dies, right? Like
we will find out shortly. But yes.
Car climbs onto the roof, entering the school through a sun window above a science classroom. The kids take their bike chains and lock the gates surrounding the auditorium. The children decide that the only thing that will make them feel better is to trash the school and all the cars in the parking lot. That's a little extreme. However, when they find guns, all hell breaks loose because of course it does.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of like the one guy that had nothing to do with any of this, like the one parent. I imagine his car gets smashed. He's like, "Come on, I didn't even do it."
Wasn't even my idea.
Like what? Okay,
I haven't even been in town.
I wanted the bowling alley too. What are we doing? Yeah.
The kids run around shooting cars, causing massive explosions. When Corey almost gets blown up by an explosion caused by Mark and can't find Carl, Claude and Johnny agree to take her home, but not before Johnny gives a phone to Julia, who's sitting by a gate in the school. Julia calls the police, and as soon as they hear sirens, all the kids split, some getting arrested. Yet no shit. The police unlock their auditorium doors, and Doberman runs out to find Carl. He gets in a cop car and drives down the road until he finds Carl. Man, this is like giving like Les Mis, you know? He's like Javert, Jean Valjean, 24601, I stole a loaf of bread. You know, it's giving that.
I think it's probably the first time Over the Edge and Les Mis have been in the same sentence ever.
Well, Forrest and I are kind of on a Les Mis kick right now.
All right, we'll allow it. I'm not saying I didn't allow it.
Kids.
Red. Okay.
No, there's like this cop is like loses control over the course of this movie.
Which is a common cop.
That's why I'm saying when he's in the room where everything's locked up and anarchy is reigning, everything is under control. Everything's under control. It's like, dude, nothing is under control.
Brother, you're not under control.
Nothing is under control.
You are a mirror of what's going on.
Yeah, you caused all of this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, because the thing, the parents like kind of yelling at the cop, and the cop, you can tell the cop wants to go for his gun. Like while getting yelled at, the cop like, what if I just shot a few of his parents too? And
yeah,
it's like,
calm them right down.
Brother, stop it. They're like, what's the gun loaded? He's like, listen, I'm the guy that keeps controlling this town. And they're like, what's the gun? What did you think the gun was loaded? He doesn't, but he's like, listen, you fucking bitch. Like,
yeah, that's great.
And then the guy's like, the homeowner guy is trying to calm down the cop, being like, you stop. And he's like, listen, I don't know. I just expected him to like go for the gun and start shooting. Like,
it seems very plausible.
Reach for the gun. Oh yes. Okay.
All right.
He handcuffs him to the back seat and tells him that he will have to go to the hill. But Mark is waiting down the road with his BB gun and shoots the car, causing Doberman to run it off the road. Really? That? Okay.
Chekhov's BB gun, by the way, appears in the first scene.
Exactly.
That could have gone really badly though for like the kid. Like they're trying to help rescue the kid, but it's like that couldn't like imagine like I don't know. Like I'm just like, please don't save me. Like
that's why it's less justice and more anarchy, but justice does happen.
It runs off the road into all the buildings, the wreck of all the places, right? Doberman gets knocked out and the wreck catches on fire.
Yeah, things kind of do work out well for the homeowners association guy by the end of this because it's like, well, they burned out. They burned out.
Yeah, we didn't want that there. Now it's not there.
Carl grabs Doberman's keys and unlocks himself from the car. He runs away and stops and turns around just in time to see the wreck blow up. And then for sure knows that Doberman died.
They put that Doberman down.
Yeah,
literally.
And nobody cried, just like it'll be a national day of celebration when, say, other people die. Anyway, moving on.
Can you feel the brand new day?
He's like 30 seconds.
Child, things are going. Is that the end song? I feel like I've seen 70 movies.
Yeah, that all have "Ooh Child."
Yeah, there's like certain, there's like
child things are gonna get. I think,
and I feel like
there are certain movies,
also,
like
There's a scene with a bus too, where it's like you're going, like, you know, like I feel like that's been. I feel like I've seen that in another movie too.
I think this movie earns the right to use that song.
Absolutely.
It wasn't going.
Ironically,
I can't remember what song it was going to be. I'll look it up, but it was going to be a different song. In the
Oh, you
original.
gotta find it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was gonna be Disco Duck.
Oh,
you kidding me?
Please, look at me. I'm the
I think it was gonna be Convoy.
Oh God!
Convoy.
Rewatching I Love the '70s. I'm like, where's the Disco Duck segment? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I remember Rick Dees having a song that's a joke called Disco
You
Duck.
guys
I'm
should
like,
end every live stream with "Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier."
It's always juxtaposed by the fact that things are not going to get easy.
No,
right.
That kid is now
Cinema.
This is like he's the most like kind of upper class of the kids in this community, and he's just entered the system. It's like
By
get
the way,
this.
what happens to Carl? So he goes to the hill. What do you think he does in his adult
Yeah,
life?
that's a good question.
I mean, I have theories. I think he becomes the weapons dealer in Taxi Driver.
That's awesome. It's a secret sequel. Yeah.
Or he becomes a CIA agent that busts Sean Penn in the Falcon and Timothy Hutton in the Falcon and the Snowman.
Oh man.
I do think I think part of it definitely depends on whether like this ends up on his permanent record. It's like because a lot of times
he's clean. I mean,
yeah. Because they send a lot of times they send you to one of those places, like it's like the last stop before something, before like an arrest or before something ends up on your record. It's like this is one of the like a last chance youth detention center or whatever.
Okay, two things. First of all, Falcon and the Snowman, one of the first movies I've seen to feature falconry as a primary plot point. That isn't Kess, of course. And then secondly, following up on the earlier point, Kaplan wanted to use Baba O'Reilly by The Who as the ending credit song.
Yeah, it couldn't get
that
it right.
would have been incredible.
That would have been great.
I think the thing is, by this point, the Who was obviously way too big for them to clear the thing. The guy that produced this is using his own money for a lot.
Well, that was the next part of that was that he didn't get the license rights because the song was too expensive. But think of it now. Now it's overused. Right now it's in like the Who or like whatever Law and Order.
What would you choose right now?
Oh man, I would choose "Over the Edge" by the Wipers.
I feel like. All right, wait. Are we going for?
Actually, I'd probably go "Youth of America" with the Wipers.
There's no time constraints. Any era.
Yeah.
But are we going for like a detached irony, like the Ooh Child?
Yeah, I would go for "On the Nose." That's why. Hence, I'm saying "Youth of America."
Choice.
Because if you're going for like detached irony, the first song that pops into my mind is the first thing that pops into my mind is
Kids in America. Yeah.
Is Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day." I gotta say, it was a good day. I didn't even have to use my AK.
Forrest was too busy chatting. Adam, did you say "Kids in America" with the Muffs version or the Kim Wilde version?
The Kim Wilde version.
All right. I feel like the Muffs version is very closely associated with. Was it Clueless? Right? That's in it. It's a great cover. They never played it live, which is hilarious to me because it's like their most famous song. But anyway, the Muffs, everybody, thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. So then we get that final scene with Carl coming handcuffed out of the police station, right? And then he's escorted on the bus. What happens after that? I don't know. Roll credits. I kind of like that open ending. That's good.
Yeah. It's like his whole thing right throughout this movie. It's like. It is an open ending because it's like I don't know, like you either get kind of reformed by being in one of those places, or you end up worse. Like
it could be his origin story. Now, is it a villain or hero origin story? Well,
yeah, my
one of those places and be like, oh, I'm never doing that again. Like I'll fucking die before I go back to one of those places. I gotta shape up at least enough not to do
or
it.
it's I'm gonna do that again and I'm gonna do it way better because I've learned so much.
Or you come out of there and you're like, oh, maybe like I have a connection to start trafficking cocaine or something. Like
okay with it.
Yeah.
Like if you look at his face, like, yeah,
but he's not in the place yet, to be fair. It's like,
I can probably get away with more.
I think the director, the writer, they're telling us, you be Carl. Like, I think it's a very, which is why I don't like that song choice. Like, I actually think that song choice, if it were the Kids in America, Kim Wilde, like, that is a very different energy. I don't know. We could ask the Hunter and the director. By the way, they're here in town. I email with them sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
that's awesome. No, ask him if they knew what the Wipers were. Actually, when did Over the Edge come out? It was the record I'm talking about. 83. Okay, so so it came out after Youth of America was 81. Okay, all right. So
also, if there's no time constraints, could do Daydream Nation, Sonic Youth.
Yeah. Teenage Riot on the nose.
I guess a few years after this, I guess you could do like Born in the USA or something. Born in the USA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
You could, but I would not allow it.
You could do I'm Proud to Be an American, Lee Greenwood.
Oh, God.
Like,
You know when people get there, they have that as like a thing when people get their like visas or whatever, and like citizenship for the first, like they play Proud to, like the Lee Greenwood song, like in Trump's administration at least, they would have that playing as like a thing in those citizenship ceremonies.
You know what would be good? Gil Scott Heron's Winter in America.
That'd be great. That would be a little much, I think, for
it'd be too much.
Maybe not.
It would. Yeah. It would.
It would be a anything would be a different vibe because it is such a you're expecting.
I don't like that song. That's my one complaint.
I feel like there's an entire.
All right. Hold on. Let me have the floor. Another Cheap Trick song, Ballad of Teenage Violence. There you go. Keep it.
I feel like there's like a very weirdly like 90s vibe to using that song for some reason. Like I see like I feel like there's like a whole genre of like prison movies that like it's like, you know, someone's in prison and they're like playing a song like that at the end of it. Like it's almost like a saccharine in a weird way. Like it's like look at this guy. He's.
I feel like we disagreed. We've talked about cinema, class, American economy. Cue it. Ooh, child.
Maybe the Mondays always get me.
I mean, it's a great song. It's just like, why are we hearing it?
Good one.
Yeah.
I love the Carpenters.
I mean, Carpenters would kill.
And it's like things are not going to be easier for Carl. He's
Carl. Sorry.
How much does it change? I mean, I have this question about all movies from like that deal with like class, you know, distribute, like all the big issues. I mean, how much does it change the way you look at it, knowing where we are now, which is we're about to enter, you know, 1.7 degrees Celsius warming, which is literally on the precipice of civilization-wide collapse. We have a lunatic orange monster as president. We have an opposition party that is nakedly corrupt. We have like levels of income inequality I read one study that said that it's worse than the time of slavery, like literally. So anyway, when you look at, I get more of a foreboding, larger impact when I watch these movies, knowing the moment we're ending up on. So it's sort of an open-ended question, but how much do these films change in your reckoning, knowing the dark, catastrophic point that we've reached?
Yeah,
So
I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that the sort of general anarchic aspect of it, I think there's a reason why we just don't see that anymore. Like, I think now, like How to Blow Up a Pipeline, right? That's a good example of a recent one. And it's very directed. And things have to be very direct now. There's no open-endedness allowed. Nothing can be open up for interpretation. If it is, it's open up to criticism immediately. And I think that that's culturally what's expected, which unfortunately narrowcasts the message a lot of times that the people that most should see it will never see it because it isn't coming from, their most trusted source or whatever, which is too bad because you end up in things where like the most revolutionary cinema, oftentimes, you have the balance when you make it more broad base, then it can reach more people, but is the message going to actually get out there or not? And I think that's the modern conundrum, as people are put in this balkanized space of not even having a traditional media sources that have a monoculture. It's a bunch of like smaller cultures. I don't know what we do for an atomized culture after that.
Yeah.
Well,
go.
So
Sorry.
I was thinking about like the idea of like the public space, like the public sphere. Like this movie, like the problem with the entire like planned community thing is that the kids have fallen through the cracks completely, but the rest of the population that are like the adults or whatever have like activities around this that they could do. I feel like the adults have been the adults are now the kids too. It's like deindustrialization, like the ending of the public sphere as like like the third spaces that they talk about, like because this community is clearly planned with those third spaces. It's just they're not for the kid. Like nobody thought like there's gonna be kids in this town. Like no one had that forethought. But for adults, it's like they've created an entire town that's like they have tennis, they got the set, like they have things for the adults to do. I mean, I'm sure the adults are bored as shit too, but it's like I feel like everybody's kind of in the position of kids now in this movie, where it's like. Yeah,
I love that. Like the shrinking space for discourse, activities, behavior, lives that aren't tied to the overall economy. Because really, that's kind of what the movie's about. They don't give a shit about the kids. Like, go like wrap a bunch of metal in a semicircle, put up a jungle gym, but they're like, when the dad tries to explain why he's ignoring his family, why the kids have nothing to do, the answer is essentially GDP. Yeah. And I think you're spot on with that. I think that is spread to the parents, the grandparents, like anyone who's not actively in the pipeline of generating for the markets, hyper financialization feels like these kids,
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. The adults are kind of like the PMC in this case. Just to invoke Catherine Liu, right? The adults in this movie are basically the professional manager class, and they don't care what happens to the kids, like really. And if they do, it's just on how it reflects on them and on their largesse or their thoughts on how they can better themselves.
Well, how many like throughout the last few decades, right? Like how many oppressed kind of things have there been with the profoundness of like the idea of like, oh, we need to sell this industrial park, close down the rec center, like with like the complete disregard.
And then people complain like, "Oh, there's nothing to do here." I'm like, "Yeah." Well,
I'm just saying.
And that's the update to that would be Hillary Clinton telling the coal workers to go, whatever, code.
Yeah, but it's like there's just
let's go do something else that doesn't do that. Yeah,
there's
disregard, not even like disregard, even like on a personal bias level, right? Like disregarding the sense of just like these are fucking kids. Like, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, we need to sell. Like, the only thing that really matters is selling this industrial park to like, the guy with the cowboy hat from The Simpsons.
Well, if you look at data centers, like, I mean, data centers are this movie times a million. Like, data centers are literally like, screw your water, screw your energy. There is no apparent benefit to anything. And like, if you remade this movie where all the parents were trying to bring a data center, the kids in the end would have killed like 200 adults. I'm spacing on the name of it, but the movie that just came
Eddington?
Yes. Like,
Ari Aster was about 9 months too early.
That ending is
it's
like
so great.
a gold medal gymnast sticking the perfect, because I like the movie and Ari Aster is great.
Yeah.
I was with it. But that ending hit,
it's
like mother effer. Like, can I curse?
Forrest seems to do it plenty, so go right ahead.
All right. Motherfucker. I literally said with my wife and daughter in the room, like, oh, he stuck that. And if you replace data center with the industrial park, they're the exact
same thing.
Yeah.
It's also like when you look at what an industrial park is, right? Like the actual definite, like it's basically a special economic zone you put in the middle of a town, where this part, like you say, all right, our town has pretty heavy regulation on, we don't want pollutants, we don't want all this different stuff, but in this one zone, cordoned off zone, you can pretty much just kind of dump shit and like you pollute whatever. Like, so it's like you have this special economic zone in the middle of your planet community, and it's like they're trying to put that next to the rec center where the kids are. It's like the spot that's going to have the most pollution out of. It's going to be across from where your kids are
hanging out.
And an industrial park right away implies tax breaks, which, I mean, the engine of the economy of death that we're in has been driven by tax breaks for jobs, tax breaks for like, it's kind of a remarkable movie because you could argue it's like the first anti-neoliberal economics movie. Like, I'm sure there are 5 others, but for me, I mean, we all agree, I think, that Billy Jack is the greatest movie ever.
Billy Jack does rock.
That aside, all sentient, compassionate humans knowing Billy Jack is the center of all of the film universe.
The center of cinema.
Anyway,
I mean,
it's
I think there's a
movie. It really, I mean, Over the Edge is like
the modern, like I feel like a modern, if you're gonna do like a more modern take on it, it's like I'm thinking about like how cities have to bid for Amazon to come there. Like an Amazon warehouse. It's like the business incentives of like this movie is kind of already kind of basically like
it's a precursor to that.
Yeah, they're trying to like
it's a Silmarillion to Amazon's Lord of the Rings.
And the billboard that they have up for the town. When you actually like it's like some weird phrase where it's like the greatest place for industry or something. It's turning what is supposed to be like an idyllic planned community already. It's throwing away that. It's throwing away like the entire point of this community in this movie is like, oh, it's supposed to be like an idyllic place to live, and it's like it's such an interesting thing, like putting an industrial park in the middle of that fucking because you probably budgeted badly, and you need more revenue, and you want to make more revenue for yourself, but also like for the town itself as like the homeowners association guy, and bring the value for shareholders kind of in this venture. It's like
I noticed it about 6 or 7 years ago that the aesthetic framework that we're all conditioned to use as like the gauge of like, that's a good movie, that's a good book, has been like shattered by reality. So if you were remaking this movie, probably the one-to-one would be like a city, a town like this wants the new federal execution chamber.
Detention center or whatever.
Built where they're going to televise the executions.
Right.
So there's a audio visual crew. There's like every, like the Hunger Games or the Long Walk, you're like, that's 6 months from now. Like,
I mean, right? It seems like the way we're going. And can I just say that we've actually been getting back to Eddington for a second. Ari Aster, we've done all of his movies on this show. We celebrate Aster. We were early on. We may be the only podcast to ever cover Beau is Afraid, which was genuinely insane people for people that are insane, complimentary. And unfortunately, we were a little bit too late on the Eddington press train because I tried pretty hard to get him on to talk about Eddington, and it was just maybe too late in asking. So it's the only one we haven't covered. And like, I've been kicking myself because as reality has caught up to basically what was happening in that movie, it's like, we had it on the schedule, it was ridiculous. But I think he's such a fascinating filmmaker, and he's always just a little bit too early, I feel like, for whatever reason. And that's,
that's basically what the left is like. We're just too early. Everyone's like, I'm like, you've been saying this for years.
Eddington's thing is like, and I think that it's like it's impressive, but like the whole entire point of it was like to like lean into the ideology of nobody. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like, the whole idea is like, don't let anybody off the hook. Because movies, like, a lot of times they're like, oh well, obviously like one group feels let off the hook by this, and the whole idea of like Eddington is like, no, we're not gonna, like, there's not gonna be an organic fan base for this, and like ideologically, because it's like, we're not gonna
it pisses off everybody, and in the way, not in the way that people that normally will say, oh, it pisses off everyone. No, you just are saying that because it gives you cover to say your nonsense. In this case, no, it actually did piss off everybody, which is amazing. And like, from a comedic standpoint, it's laudable, frankly, because he lit up everyone. I mean, look, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about it when we do the movie Eddington, which I look forward to doing. But right now, we're talking about Over the Edge, and we have to talk about Letterboxd, which, of course, a film lovers site for where people talk about the films that they love, maybe the films that they didn't love, maybe the films that they just have the review. A kid who tells another kid is a dead kid, which honestly respect. That's a great quote. And of course, everyone gets to chime and opine about the movies that they love. And this is bottom-up democracy. Everyone gets to have their say, not just the Siskel's and Eberts of the world. And these are best expressed for the purposes of this bit succinctly, where they're collected weekly by yours truly for Forrest and the rest of the panel, including our friend Adam McKay, to react to and put on the screen. And that is what is happening right now. This is Letterboxd one-liners for Over the Edge. Let's roll them. Me and my homies all hate capitalism.
Hell yeah.
Perfection.
By the way, I love the tags with mom, with dad. Great. It's a family movie.
There's a thing that this movie does also, where it's like you feel that there's like differences between the friend group. Like they converge at times, but it's like you have your one friend or your couple friends or your group of people around you, and then there's like other groups of people in the same community that are like, they don't intersect as much as you think they do, unless there's like a party or something, like it's like
absolutely. Every 14-year-old boy in the 70s looks like Polly Pocket.
Are we supposed to be getting a Polly Pocket movie? Because
that's right. Once they learned all the wrong lessons from Barbie, was it
broke up? What?
Wasn't it supposed to be
Lena Dunham?
Lena Dunham's Polly Pocket. Christ, shoot me. Sorry, peace and love to Lena Dunham, but. ACAB for life, blaze it up 420 style. Drop acid and look at Hieronymus Bosch paintings.
That's how you do your free time.
You know, it's like about, you know, me and my homies all hate the cops, and also, and the line that cracked me up the most of this is when the kid that accidentally did acid goes, I can't do acid anymore, man. But he looks like he's like 9 years old.
Yeah,
so
you're like 12. How are you already a burnout? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
After scenes of Matt Dillon in 1, a belly shirt, and 2, a mesh tank top, I said, "What's next? A vest with no shirt under it?" Guess what happened?
He's still so fine.
Hey, he's 13.
Yeah, but I also watch Wild Things too. So
he's like, you're gonna grow up to be a heartbreaker or whatever people say to like, you're gonna grow up to be such a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I think viewing this movie in any way as a vehicle for Matt Dillon is bizarre, because later we saw the Matt. It was what was the movie? Christy McNichol and Matt.
Little Darlings.
Oh, very nice. And they started.
Yeah.
But this movie, no, like.
Well, in every description of it, like it's like a list of like, because obviously, you know, you're trying to like sell a movie on streaming or whatever, you know, like it's like, oh well,
Two girls try to lose their virginity.
It's like, but it's like, you know, like there's so many movies on stream, so it's like, oh, why should I care about this movie, or what's special about this movie? And like always one of them is just like, it was Matt Dillon's first movie.
Yeah, and it is. By the way, the government began funding social media research and development the day after the release of this film. That should have way more than 3 likes, one of which is me.
Yeah. I love that.
This movie has like some weird resonances for me in the sense of like the kid said, oh, like what, like like for a while or whatever, I visited like Cooperstown. That line, and it's like, like during COVID, I went there and saw like the Baseball Hall of Fame type stuff. It's like oh, Cooperstown. But then he also has like when he has like the marijuana leaf or whatever, and they're like he gets in trouble at school for having the marijuana leaf thing and like you know like on his belt buckle or whatever. I got in school suspension one time because I didn't even think about the fact that this was in. I had a marijuana leaf earring when I was like 14, and they like gave me in school suspension for that.
Dang.
So I was like, I feel you on the belt buckle. Like you don't even
wait until the last day of school, so they can't do anything. Oh wait, they still feel like they can do something about that.
Yeah. So I just didn't even remember to take it out, and it was like, yeah.
Did anyone else get the feeling that the anti-vandalism video shown at the assembly had almost no impact on the kids?
Isn't that like?
It's like say no, just say no. It's like, really?
This is a few years before just say no, like before the DARE kind of programs. You know what I mean? Like it's funny that vandalism. It's funny that vandalism is the proto version of that.
Yeah.
Like Nancy Reagan's, just say no. You know, campaign. Nancy Reagan's just say no campaign.
Yeah, friend of the show, Nancy Reagan. Hey, those are Letterboxd one-liners for Over the Edge. Please follow the show at our Movie Night Extra Letterboxd HQ account, where we have all the great content that you find on this very show. Attendance, short form stuff, written things out, all that kind of thing. At Movie Night Extra. President of New Grenada over there. At Always Flacco, that's your host, Forrest Miller. He's logging stuff left and right. He's all busy. I'm a kid who tells another kid is a dead kid, a.k.a. at Conan Neutron. You can find me for the highbrow, the midbrow, the populist fair, currently tearing through a bunch of Criterion Challenge stuff that is not currently on streaming. I saw Written on the Wind, To Have and Have Not, Ashes and Diamonds. There's been a lot of really good pictures that I've been watching. So follow me along for all that, as well as so much more. Lots of new releases coming up. Richie Not Rich. Kristina, ADAM Kristina on Letterboxd as well. You can follow her on that format. I've barely looked at the feed. I don't even know if you logged anything lately, but
still logged in some Michael Jackson short films and also a TV movie. I'm going through like a TV movie phase for some reason. Stalking Laura, the one with Richard Thomas and Brooke Shields. I was like, when I'm president, it's required that we watch this.
To be fair, America went through that phase as well, and it was right around when this came out. So. Lots of TV movies, TV dramas.
Well, I mean, they exiled for a little while. Jonathan Kaplan. That was like one of the big things. They exiled him to doing TV, and then he got to come back because of the accused.
Like Law and Order stuff.
Yeah, he did ER and stuff like that. They kind of exiled him for a little bit after this period, and then he made The Accused, and he came roaring back. And they were like, "All right, you're back in our great."
Jodie Foster's first Oscar, right? Like, damn.
And they did not want to give it props. They felt like they basically said, "Oh, we don't want you to work anymore." Like, because they used to just throw people away like that. And then he made that, and they were like, "Okay, this is good enough that you're back. You can do movies again."
All right, so that's Letterboxd. Let's hit it with the plugs, and then we'll do some final thoughts and get the heck out of here.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short-form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Yes, Bob Burt from Sonic Youth and Chrome Kanks and Pussy Galore, a.k.a. Bob Burt of BB Gun fame coming on. So it should be a good one.
Speaking of BB guns.
It's a classic zine that was very good. He has a new record out. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. He's been on the show before. It's always a good time. He's lived a lot of life. And it's all interesting. So that's coming up next. ProtonicReversal.com. Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. $1 a month. Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal for that advance access. Busting a lot of new podcasts out. I'm having the guys from Neurosis on too. I still don't know what day it is, but it's going to be this month. I can tell you that much. And that's huge for my world because I don't think they've even done a show since it's coming back. But that is coming up as well. Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends, on tour end of June, largely East Coast as well as Youngstown. I think I have the flyer around here somewhere, but who cares? It's going to be it's Youngstown, Baltimore, New York, Northampton, and Boston. And the last two are going to be with Miracle Blood. Those should be great, so stay tuned for that. Follow us on social media for all of that stuff. I don't have a flyer yet for it. There's a West Coast tour in August. People kept asking about SF. Why no SF? As if I booked the Red Cross tour, which I didn't. We're playing with the Null. We're playing San Francisco. We're playing Sacramento. We're playing Eureka, Humboldt, a.k.a. Redwoods country. So Forest of Endor. We're playing the Forest of Endor. We're not playing in the forest, but that is where that is filmed. So that's going to be a good time. Portland and Seattle, all that will be announced fairly shortly, as well as a couple other things. NeutronFriends.com, NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com for all that. We still have a few of the shopping bags left, not many. They went pretty fast. They're cool. I actually have one right here. So you can buy that on the Bandcamp as well. These are the ones that say death is coming, eat trash, be free. And they're cute raccoons, so that's cool. A couple other things to announce coming up. Stay tuned for all that. Of course, Caterwaul, June 5th, 6th, and 7th coming up in Minneapolis. Friday tickets sold out. Saturday and Sunday going fast. So if you want to see Riot Coalition, Dazzling Killman, and everyone else, please go caterwaul.org or social media, anything for Caterwaul, and hope to see you there. Kristina, hit it with yours, please.
Yeah, I'm just streaming, doing a stream thing. The other night we watched some very bad movies like Flowers in the Attic, and I guess people must have memory hold or forgot that stupid Man in the Mirror Michael Jackson movie from VH1 from back in the day. I'm like, yeah, we're watching that. It sucks. But then we watched another movie, 2 movies that dealt with arsenic and incest. Who would have thought?
Now I have to make a playlist.
My favorite British film, Arsenic and Incest.
Yeah. People had no idea about the VC Andrews lore, and I was like, well, here's what you need to know. And yeah, so I'm streaming. Forrest and I got our show tomorrow, and then afterwards, I'm going on my friend the Paradigm Shifts to discuss how people need to realize that their brains are broken and they're terminally online parasocial weirdos, and they just need to embrace it and stop thinking that they're normal. So, gonna have fun discussing that.
That could go really badly. That could, not your appearance. I mean, like if everyone embraces it, that might go really badly.
No, but I'm just saying people think they're being normal when they saw people's tweets and shit and then clip like 2 seconds. I'm like, this is not normal.
Can I tell you, as the most offline member of this show, it is not normal. There was nothing normal about it. You seem like insane people.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying if you
people
have no frame of reference.
They think, and it's like, no, you are insane. Coming from someone who is like that, I know. It's have some self-awareness, people. Also, check out my shit.
I've noticed the supreme overuse of the term normies for people that are very much not, like Tucker Carlson calling himself a normie. Bro,
wait, what are we doing?
We're not.
What's going on?
You are.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm streaming, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Also, some good news. Looks like Chris Rabb is gonna be winning his primary in Pennsylvania, so that's good.
Oh, nice.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
against
so
Sharif Street. I would have changed my name. Well, his dad.
Yeah.
His dad.
It literally sounds like a name of a street that I would not want to walk down on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't like the alliteration of the name Sharif Street. Since Adam dipped, his right now he's on a press tour. Going around for.
We didn't even mention it once. How bad of us? That sucks. But we'll mention it now.
What I'm doing now.
In the intro.
In hour 7 of this podcast. Yeah.
Oh no! You need this. It's a documentary. It's on grasshopperfilms.com. It's also on. You can get it on Amazon Prime. You can get it pretty much everywhere. It's a documentary about hypercapitalism and the way, or hyperconsumerism, and the way consumerism is literally killing us. Kind of depressing, but it's very interesting. They go on a whole digression about I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Freud's nephew that was one of like the guys that invented basically marketing by doing like these big Albert I can't think of his name, but and how there's actually research being done into how to project like commercials into our dreams, which is insane, and I hate it. And no one's thinking about, well, a lot of people aren't even thinking about how badly it can go, which is like what this guy is explaining. They were doing research into dreams, and then they were contacted by, this is an insane fact. They were contacted by like, I think Coors to try to do to see like, can we somehow project the image of beer into people's dreams to get them to want beer? And it's like, so you're like, that would create relapses en masse for like alcoholics. Like, I don't know. Interesting documentary. You need this. It's Adam produced it. And so he's been on a press run for that, and then we didn't even bring it up. And so final thoughts, and then we can get the frick out of here.
Now you're censoring yourself. Okay, yeah, great.
Well, you called it out. I don't know. Kristina, final thoughts.
Do it for
thoughts.
Johnny. Oh wait, that was that wrong movie. He also gets shot out and killed by cops in that one. Yeah, great movie, great film debut for Matt Dillon. I mean, it's kind of people are like, oh, he's been doing this. No, man, he's been doing this since like he was a kid. He did not have any real formal like acting experience. Yeah, it's amazing that.
The craziest part is that if he hadn't been cutting class in the hallway, there would be no Matt Dillon.
Could have been a Morgan on Wall Street or what? You never know what could have happened to him. Thank God.
It's the fact that he was cutting class and wandering around the hallway, and they said, "Hey, kid, you're cutting class. You got a good look. You want to audition for a film?" And he was like, "Yeah, all right." And then that sparks his career. If he was in class, if he had gone to class and he wasn't cutting class, that's don't stay in school, I guess, is the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, what? Stay in school, kids. No, don't stay in school because you can end up in Hollywood. You never know. That's how they found Rosario Dawson for Kids. She was just sitting like on her front porch, and that's how they found her. And I'm like, why does it happen to me? Anyway, it's on Tubi. If you guys want to see Over the Edge, it's on Tubi. It's where I watch it. Highly
The people's
recommend it.
platform.
Yes,
Yeah.
people, you know
people
what?
talk shit about. I mean, Tubi originals are pretty bad, but people talk shit about Tubi all the time.
All the content.
Because the Tubi ads are insane. They're like made by insane people for insane people.
Yeah, that's
But
why.
like, but people are like complaining about a free service, and it's like, all right, well, they go pay for a service. I don't know what to tell you. Like, oh, I hate this thing that's free, but it's such small portions. Anyway.
Yeah, go see this
Conan.
movie if you haven't.
Yeah, Conan. Final thoughts. Trying to rush out
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. So, one of the great coming of age films, one of the great Generation X films. The there is a through line between this and Rebel Without a Cause, and certainly Dazed and Confused, which it absolutely inspired in some cases, scene for scene in some cases. And then Kurt Cobain's favorite movie. You know, there's an enduring allure and luster to it because it feels very real. Soundtrack's amazing. So much Cheap Trick that's on here. Ramones are on there. And I think that there's so much to love here, and I kind of hope it gets more of a rediscovery by the current generation because even though, again, liberal usage of the other F word as well as the R word,
but they're not like good characters. Like I don't know.
It's
also too, you know, we can also call them like and they still use that term in the UK to refer to cigarettes, and I'm like, why?
Or it's a bundle of. I remember as a kid, people used to say, "You know what that means? A bundle of sticks." So you just call me a bundle of sticks. You didn't even hurt my.
I'd rather be called that than Anyway.
Oh, you think I'm a bundle of sticks? I remember kids used to love saying doing that back.
What, you a clown?
It's my final thoughts. Come on, Jesus Christ! It's very good images of skies in here. Adam's correct about that. So that's something that doesn't get nearly enough attention for. In general, super cool. I was super stoked when Adam suggested this as one to do. I can tell you this: the other movies were all very tonally different. Is what I'll say. And I'm not saying that we won't do them because I won't say what they are. But like I was like, let's do Over the Edge. Like who does a podcast on Over the Edge? This one, bitch.
One of the more interesting. A lot of those sky images are accidental. They're like, oh wow, the sky looks really cool. Let's get this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love that. There's so much to love here.
I was surprised by how many times in the making of like the story of the movie or whatever they're like, I don't know, the sky looked really cool that day, so we filmed the sky.
you can also if you don't want to, and if you don't want to deal with Tubi at the time of this recording, you can rent it on Apple TV as well. So, and I think
it's on YouTube as well.
And I just got a DVD from the library. Because that's how much I hate those Tubi ads.
So I just watch it on my laptop and use like uBlock Origin or whatever, just so I don't get any ads.
Yeah, exactly. We'd like to welcome our new sponsor, uBlock Origin. Thank you.
It's all right. They're gonna just start projecting the ads into our dreams.
I think filmmakers call it the golden hour. Days of Heaven, the Malik movie, is kind of known for coining that term, and that's
Well, they always say, sorry.
Fitzcarraldo as well.
Yeah, they always go, come on, we're burning daylight. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Yeah. That's Adam McKay. New viewers and listeners, like and subscribe, do all those things. Like Forrest.
Yeah, and apparently we're going to get Michael Moore on the show eventually.
Look, great. I mean, sounds awesome. Tune in next week when we are covering the brand new Boots Riley movie. I Love Boosters.
Yeah.
Will
we have him on?
We went no, we're not. It's just gonna be us. So I want it that way. But we went from I like that we went Josh Olson, then we went to Adam McKay, and then it's like no guest. Yeah, that's right.
Just us. Just us.
That's
right. You wanted the best. You got the best.
Like, I wonder who's gonna be on this week. Nobody, bitch.
Nobody. And then we have I don't know, like Invasion June or something. I don't know. We're gonna workshop this title, but. We got it. We got some good stuff coming.
Invasion June, movies about immigration. Nope, movies about aliens because the aliens are coming. They're about to disclose all the aliens. I saw Trump was hanging out with an alien. His name's Pete Hegseth.
That's not AI, by the way. That was a real alien.
My thing was I wish they had gotten Kash Patel drunk and then forced him into an alien costume, and there's like an alien. Yeah, there's an alien. And
I'm just surprised no one made a Tom DeLonge reference.
Oh, yeah.
Missed opportunity.
He was all over the place for a while.
He sure was. Anyway, so
we're storming Area 51 next week, chat.
No after party because the podcast was 1,000 hours long. But thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. Become a patron on patreon.com/movie night extra. Go join it. We haven't had a new patron in a while. You could be our new patron. You could patronize us. You could, in the please don't patronize us in the comments. Patronize us on Patreon.
Only at the highest level. The highest level you can.
The highest level is condescension.
You should actually do that. Actually, that would be funny as hell.
That's pretty good.
The tears.
We are over the edge of the time limit. So
thank God.
We are out of here.